You know, we've never bladed that road from the fire hall all the way down. There's a big dispute is that if that's actually full county road or if it's, belongs in that subdivision, and of course they all say that it's county, but I was gonna go over that with Linda and make sure what it is.
Okay.
But what we have done in the past is we go hit the bad spots. And it's got not very good gravel on it, and when you put mag on it, it turns pretty ugly.
The mud.
Yeah, and I don't wanna go up there and then we mag it and then it all turns to hell and then, okay, we did that now, what do we do?
Okay, the one thing that'll fall on the map, looking at it, it does say it's county.
Correct. But some of those do say they are, but they're really not. And I just wanna
Well, we
clarify,
wouldn't have them
I know,
in red.
I know it, but it can very well not be. I just gonna wanna go over with Linda, make damn sure that it is. If you guys just wanna call a county to this red, that's fine too.
There have been some in the past that the county stopped their county roads, like Lucky Lane. So, yeah, double check with Linda.
Yeah,
Just because we, especially up in that, anywhere there were subdivisions,
right.
years ago, kinda got where there was some of them that just aren't, you know.
I think a lot of it too, back in the day, we just did them when there wasn't a lot of people around and.
And Lucky Lane and all that stuff, that was there,
For them,
they were
just,
some of them.
yeah, and some of it was make sure that the fire truck could remember they're having trouble, they were worried, and so we helped a little bit, but I'm with you, no, make
Yeah,
sure.
but the only thing I'm gonna say is, those red lines are documented.
That we have some others on there, you know, the Forest Service.
And one thing Linda does keep up with that map,
Yeah,
so,
Yeah, I'm not saying you're not gonna
Yeah.
say it, just
Yeah.
make sure I just
double check it.
double check and then if it is, I still think we mag it, we better do it awfully light because it's gonna turn into a shit show.
I think that's up to, that'd be up to you to look at it and see, cause we don't want a big, then all of a sudden, down coming in here, want some gravel. And we gotta get done what we said we were gonna get done, and we're getting closer to being up there, and then. But make sure we know what's going on.
Where are we at for gravel out of the loader pit down there?
Well, we got over 9,000 out of it. Yeah, that's what we're getting,
Right there.
yeah. And, once we get done with that lower rocker, we've still got, dump work we gotta get done. We gotta actually lay that out, widen them roads out.
Oh,
We've gotta, me and Scott mapped it all out, what we're gonna do there. And then we're probably gonna, other guys working on widening that, doing that, and then blading all gravel up here on other roads while we're doing that.
okay.
So that's kind of the plan.
All that slough in there.
Have 2 men down there at least and
Are we gonna be able to haul the excess or whatever on the river crop, like? We're not
Yeah.
gonna haul it very far, we just haul it right there.
right on the ranch. Yeah, some spots. So.
You're just fine. I'll save time.
And,
That's only a mile.
Yeah. Time and fuel.
yeah, so, no, that'll be good. That's about it.
have you heard anything on that reclamation project that we're, when it was gonna be?
They're gonna, for the Lolo, you mean?
No, for the reclaiming the road that,
Oh, yeah, no, he's still putting it together. No, so. And I'm sure he'll call me at some point this week.
so we probably don't have to worry that it's gonna happen before the rodeo
Oh,
or
God.
during the rodeo.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's this weekend.
Then,
But if
because we
it
are,
would've, I guess.
No, we'll get it all figured out and then we'll have to talk about it, because it's gonna cost some money.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there.
so is he getting the cost of it? Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
You're first, I stopped. I got pointed at it. You got one.
Trying to get the availability of the machine first, and then how much the oil is gonna cost to mix in with it. And what it does, and it'll cut it up and mix it all together, and then we'll have to blade it and roll it and shape it.
okay,
And when that's done, I mean, it's gonna need to be chip sealed if you're gonna spend that kind of money as soon as first can. And we know that chip sealing's last year was a little over $20,000 a mile. And
So that did they say it has to be chip sealed, or are you saying it has to be chip sealed?
I'm saying it has to be chip seal road, this won't last.
I agree, cause otherwise we're wasting our time and that road's so crappy that
You just gotta seal it.
it's, yeah,
So that's what that does.
then that lasts us for.
Yeah.
Everything with that machine on asphalt or whatever has to be, chip sealed, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I mean, just 1 year of winter
Yeah.
with salt and all that, it'll blow that road out.
yeah.
And then to get that chip seal, we'll have to figure that out. I don't even know where they're working at. We'll have to catch somebody that's
Coming.
running by or doing, you know, what have you.
It's gonna take a little bit to find out, as soon as we can find out from him, then we.
I would guess
then
it's
we
gonna
can
be
make a
fall.
plan.
Yeah, so, good plan.
So it'll be fall, I'm sure.
There's only one chip sealing company, right? A PMM.
It's, yeah, you know, they do 90% of it.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it. That's the receipt there that I give you, that's just the belly dump rental
Oh,
papers, it's all been signed and done, and I don't think there's anything to do with it, as yet, haven't been filed.
okay, you might give that to Becky then. Or I
The bill.
can look at it. Give it to her, oh, it does.
So is the road city gravel just there that we can put with?
Yeah.
it?
Okay,
Return on the dump, I got your letter, and, I need to, it'd be nice to have some kind of letter what's coming out of it, my check, what the wages are, I'd like to have that wrote down and figure out how that number came about. But,
Sure. Yeah,
If I could
absolutely.
So I have some idea what the hell it even is. And
All you have to do is go in and, oh, we'll do it for you if you want.
I don't feel I should have to go through that.
Well, no, you shouldn't.
If I can get that down, that would be great, and other than that. Think, shit,
that is very much.
mhm.
Haven't heard no other people looking for work, I laughed all over.
I didn't find anybody either, so we'll just do what we can do. Or just keep doing all the same stuff. What about having me come in twice, every other week, instead of every week? Does it make any difference to you guys? I won't have anything but the dump, that's gonna be done, it's just the road.
Well, the dump never had anything anyway. I can't see you using that as an excuse to.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter if you want me to come in every week, I can come in every week, but,
Yeah, I think right now, you just come in every week and we think about it, I guess, and.
yeah.
All right. Do we need to make a motion on that or? No,
No, it's our call.
Been away for 9 years, so it doesn't really matter. All right,
Thanks, have a good-
Paul,
yep, here are the dump fees.
right?
Mhm.
Thank you.
See you later.
Have a good.
You too.
Alrighty, we'll go ahead and go into the dam tenders report.
So
That's 6429.
before we start with that, was requesting a letter stating what? Yeah, and
That's fine.
we can get the information from the clerk and recorder's office and just a draft and then a letter stating this is what is now. And
And
then just get it sent to them.
where it's new, not saying you can't do, but where it's new, one of us can walk in or Blanche
I'll do
understands. She understands the payroll thing, I just let her
Right,
and go with her with it.
Yeah.
You good?
yeah, I'm good. I'll just get the information and then we would drop a letter.
The sooner the better,
The sooner the better.
cause he's demanding one, so it might.
Yeah.
No big deal.
I think he was asking too for his gross per month and
Yes,
then that,
I
yeah,
know.
gross out.
Yeah, I know.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
That's why.
I'm gonna get the
Okay.
Alright, back to the reservoir. At 6429.26, 2.88 below full. And last week is 2.52. I guess on your rep, see what you guys think.
On leaving it at 30. I think we can, don't you?
I don't think we have much choice.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's straight per quarter,
yeah.
30, let's,
I
yeah,
just entertain a motion for that and then.
I'll make a motion that we stay at 30. CFSs.
yeah.
Second.
Public comment. The only comment I had, I just wanna make a big thank you to Jared, his helper, Jackie and Dan Bolster. They got all the painting done. Signs are all up, so we can all move ahead on that. It's, they got it sent over to Jeremiah, or Jackie did, so we're good there, but thanks a million for that. That's big.
So would we send these pictures to her?
I think Jeremiah has the plan.
Oh,
In the safety plan, I'll
Yeah.
replace what's there,
Okay,
and then.
And then we just keep put out the first stuff,
Mhm.
so, all in favor?
Alright,
All in favor?
I,
Ultimately carried back will stay at 30, but now it's a big time getting that done. Okay, we got a couple minutes here.
we can, and if we go below 30, we have to go through the water users, right?
Whatever, it'll end up being, yeah, and then, cause it's where it's stated in
Yeah.
first, that it has, you know, for irrigation.
yeah, I think you need everyone's consent.
Not,
Oh, really? So it'll go under, it's part of it.
Yeah,
What's that?
yeah,
What, it's Matt and Joe for
yeah, they're never agreed.
the next agenda item.
Maps. Matt Pierce.
They get second one, just reading.
Wow.
Hey, we'll go ahead and move into new GIS viewer software.
Good morning, commissioners. Can you hear me?
Yep.
So I've got
Morning.
Joe Rhodes with me from Civic Lens. He is the developer that I spoke with you about a few months ago when we signed the project change order to get started. And he's been working kind of behind the scenes to take the data that I've shared with him for Granite County and put together the viewer app that we had discussed. And so he's got a working copy of an internal version of it that would be for Granite County employees, deputies, the clerk and recorder's office, Linda's office, for the planner, Chad Lannis, the sanitarian, et cetera, et cetera. And yesterday we met with Sarah and Linda to kind of demo it and get some feedback. And we had a good 45-minute session with them to kind of go through different pieces and parts of it and got some good feedback. And Joe's already made the tweaks to it. And so he was going to put it up on screen and have it available for you guys to kind of take a look at, just to give an update. So I'm going to turn it over to Joe and let him walk you through it.
Hey, can everybody hear me? You hear me, Matt?
Yep.
Okay, great. And can everybody see the screen with the application up here with the county logo?
Yep.
Okay, great. So I'll go ahead and hop right into the demo. So the application loads, as Matt mentioned, this is the internal version. So the public version is going to be substantially identical almost. We're just going to redact some sensitive information from the public version, but you can kind of expect the public version will look and feel substantially similar to this. So we open up kind of a standard GIS disclaimer. Don't try to build a fence, using the property lines on this. They're not that accurate, that sort of thing. And then a disclaimer about flood data. You accept that, and it gives you access to the application. So there's two main ways to interact with it. You can just click around on it, just like you would do on, any web map or on Google Maps. I think the way most people are going to interact with it is to come to the search bar and enter a search term for the property of interest. So we'll start to enter an address. You can also search by geocode. You can search by owner name. You can search by tax ID. So we start to enter an address, and then it starts to give us suggestions here. So we'll just pick one of these, and when we do, it zooms us into that property, and it populates this panel over here with some information about that property. Let me find one with structured photos. Structure photos will populate in this panel. If there's more than one, there will be a 1 of 2, 1 of 3, that sort of thing, where you can click through them. I can show that to you in a minute. So there's a lot of layers on here. You can toggle these layers on and off, but if you're looking for kind of a one-stop shop for information about a property, you can just click here for additional property details. And what it'll do is it'll drill down through all those layers and find everything that intersects that property. So it's going to show you information on the structures, the ESN, so your law, fire, EMS, PSAP, voting precinct. We've actually got an expand all button here. Commissioner district, whether or not it's on Forest Service land, and if so, which one? Your school districts, floodway information, solid waste districts, and whether or not it's in the Granite Hospital district. So kind of a one-stop shop for information about that particular property. You can click on roads and get road information. So every layer is clickable, and if it intersects more than one layer, you can tab through the information here. So it's going to give you, here's the information about that parcel, and then here's the information about that road segment. So if there's a layer of interest that you want to take a look at, you can toggle it on here. So for example, the Georgetown Lake Zoning and Conservation Districts, we can toggle those on. And again, if we click on a property here, and we take a look at the property details, we'll see that that zoning district and conservation district pop up as part of the information for that particular property. You can drag to reorder layers if you like. They're able to print maps. You can do measurements on the map. So if we wanted to measure a distance, click once, click again. If it's short, it's going to do it in feet, and then it automatically changes to miles. If you wanted to measure an area, you could do that as well. Let's see what else. I mentioned that you can print the map. We've got a set of bookmarks here, which I worked with Matt and on our meeting yesterday to come up with bookmarks. So if you want to go quickly to an area of the county, you can just click on it here, and that'll zoom you straight to that area. So I think that's probably a good place to stop for questions. There's a lot of functionality that goes deeper, but I think those are the ways that most people are going to interact with this map. So any feedback or questions, I'm more than happy to take.
So I have a question, this is Blanche.
Sure.
Can you do a commissioner district, for example, District 1, and center on that district and get me the county roads in that district?
I beg your pardon. I missed the second half of that. Commissioner districts, I heard.
So Joe, what she's looking for is she's wondering, is she able to do like reporting out of this if she selected Commissioner District 1 could she get a list of all of the county roads within that district? And the answer, Blanche, is no, not really. It would be much easier for me to provide that to you out of the ArcGIS software. And I know that you had requested that some time ago, and it's on my radar, and I just haven't gotten that list to you. So yes, we
Thank
certainly
you.
can. Yep, we certainly can do that. Reporting type stuff and getting data out of this is not the primary goal, I guess. Those are more advanced functions that probably would be better served by having myself or Joe work with the data to run selection sets and produce the reports that you're looking for. So for instance, if the Georgetown Lake Volunteer Fire Department wanted all of the, assigned addresses within their volunteer fire district in Granite County, we could run selection sets to produce that. The primary use of this would be more for inquiries to, look at a particular structure. Someone comes into the treasurer's office and says, I want to register a vehicle and I want to establish garbage service, etc. Well, do you own property in Granite County? Yeah, I do. It's over in Lower Rock Creek, and I'm building a new house off of Roeblen Road. I'm the first parcel on the front of the property, or fronting onto Rock Creek Road. And so whoever's using it can go in and verify what's actually happening there. If Brandy in the clerk and recorder's office gets a voter registration card and she doesn't, see the address or know where it is, she can look it up and go, okay, yeah, that definitely is in Granite County, and you are in this district or that district for voting. So, but basically everything that I have mapped is physically in this data set. There are, a handful that are behind lock gates that I haven't gotten to. There's quite a few that are new construction. So the purple stars that you see within the map, those are need to verify points. And so a lot of those are, someone told me that we're going to be building at this location, or they've requested a new physical address and we've actually assigned it, but we haven't physically been out there to map it yet. Those are all in there. There's floodplain information. Joe, flip the floodplain stuff on once quick. And so this will help out Linda if, she's trying to do analysis to figure out, well, somebody wants to build on a particular lot within a subdivision. Are they within the floodplain or not? And, she mentioned yesterday that the floodplain stuff is potentially changing for parts of Granite County. And once we get that new data, we'll load this into there as well. So just a very useful tool. Go ahead.
Are they set on this floodplain? Cause there's people calling and wondering, when they bought, then all of a sudden FEMA comes in and sets all this, and that's a set floodplain district then, or not, or corridor or whatever.
There's a process for them to go to FEMA and ask for it to be amended.
But once we accept this, then it's a set deal, right?
Well, then they can still, my understanding is they can still go to FEMA and get it. But yeah, it's been done, like Clay McFarland did it.
Yeah, that's what I was making sure, because there's a couple people asking us that. He talked to Linda and Matt about it.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I have not heard much about the floodplain side of it. I know that in other counties, Mineral County, for instance, along the Clark Fork River, if they're quote unquote in the floodplain, they can apply for a FEMA certificate. Like if they have a surveyor come in there to certify that they're at a certain elevation for their build site, if they've brought in fill and have raised the level to a certain point, they can actually build, but they have to have that FEMA certification before they can start doing it.
Okay.
One thing I was gonna, comment on is that, that information on the new builds or whatever would be helpful, I think, for the fire districts and the, fire service areas, knowing that. And then, regarding that legal disclaimer, so we have some private current litigation, the county's not involved, but one of the parties is implying that, cadastral and the county's mapping is creating some type of legal easement. I would, yeah, put that language in the disclaimer that no, this mapping depicts roads, but it's not creating any type of legal easement. So, and maybe have that in there already.
Yeah, we can certainly look at that. This is a working draft, I guess, not finalized by any means. So, Blaine, I have the disclaimer stuff. Joe emailed it to me because I was interested in adding additional disclaimer information to this because as part of the mapping that I do for the sheriff's office, I've mapped portions of the Gold Creek area of Powell County, as well as I've added the east part of Anaconda Deer Lodge County in the Georgetown Lake area to the map. And if you close that disclaimer, Joe, I just want to point that out to the commissioners. So down in the lower right-hand corner, you see the blue dots that are showing up in that vicinity. We've got, Anaconda Deer Lodge County data. I'm not maintaining that data, but because we used to work for them, I have that loaded here because Sheriff Dunkerson requested it, wanting, that information for mutual aid, et cetera, within dispatch. So I've not turned it off on this particular version because this is the internal one that Granite County employees would or staff would have access to. The public version, the version that we will ultimately post to the county's website. We talked with Sarah Graham and Linda Bauk yesterday, and they both agreed that we don't want to be publishing other counties' information or data. So we're going to restrict it to simply Granite County, period. And so I had talked to Joe about adding a portion to the disclaimer, but then we decided, well, if we're not going to turn it on for the public, we don't really need that disclaimer. But maybe we do just simply for Blaine, what you mentioned, like the fire departments, if you see information in Anaconda Deer Lodge County on the east side of Georgetown Lake that was added for reference only, Maps Inc. and Granite County does not maintain that data, etc. And then I agree with you, Blaine, because we've had so much litigation with the roads in certain areas that we added a healthy disclaimer in there that says, just because a road appears within this map, it doesn't mean that it's county maintained or implies an easement, etc. And I'll probably look at the disclaimer that's in the front of the atlases, the previous atlases that we've printed, and use something similar. But Blaine, I'll email back and forth with you until we're agreed on language for certain.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks. Yeah, maybe include Linda on that, but yeah, that sounds great.
Certainly.
And I agree with not including Anaconda Deer Lodge because there's going to be a mistake in that. Someone drives into a lake, then it'll be on us.
Yeah.
My bad.
But I think Joe's pretty close to finishing this up. We've got a few tweaks here and there, but we can work with Miranda to get a link pushed up to the website in a public version here, probably within the month, and finish it up. And then it's just ongoing maintenance of it. So what do you think so far?
Looks good.
Pretty good, looks good. Looks really good. It'll make it easier,
Yeah,
especially on these subdivisions and stuff, it's gonna help a lot.
And it's also worth pointing out that the parcel data is updated from cadastral as the Department of Revenue updates their data, it gets updated on this map as well. So it's always in sync with the state.
Man, Matt, give you what you're asking for, and we can get going on that too.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I just make sure we can get Blanche lined out on her stuff, and so we get moving on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Will do.
Now, just kidding. I'm kidding.
Alrighty, well, any other questions, public comment?
Well, thanks, that was
Good
awesome.
job.
Yeah, it looks
Good
great.
job. Alrighty,
Excellent. Thanks so much, Joe.
have a good one. Go ahead and
Thank
move
you.
on. We're gonna move on to the understanding of Montana Wool Growers Association. It's just need a motion on accepting the predator control fund.
I make a motion that we
We do it every year.
lose the percentage.
They're saying there's only so many.
Oh, they're saying they have 418 sheep.
$418.
$418 on the sheet. Yeah,
So what?
dollar a sheet.
So I just do a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding.
I make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding from Montana Wool Growers Association.
I'll second it.
Public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
You signed it. So it needs to be mailed. Okay.
Yeah, leave emails or something.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we're getting caught up here at the next one, solid waste, Drummond location assessment, discussion, decision. Was he coming in?
I think he thought he was gonna.
Would you come up, state your name, sorry.
Oh, you're good. Megan Uhas, operating engineer. No, I think he thought he was getting a phone call.
Yeah, the letter said phone call. Yeah.
I guess we can go ahead and call him and get him on the.
I guess the question is, did you want this in open? I guess we didn't ask him. There, yeah, right.
Okay,
It didn't say.
288, 3333.
I'll look at that.
That's
Is it
Hogan.
free?
Good memory. Well, I kind of remember.
I just called, that's why I was thinking, it's not, I didn't just go.
288-0005.
Right on. Right on.
First thing I asked him if he wants it open.
County Phone Works is certainly help you.
Hey, Don, this is the county commissioners and, you're on the agenda. Do you want this open or closed?
It might as well be open.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah,
right to
union
privacy.
represents here.
Ask him to waive
Okay.
his right to privacy.
You waive your right to privacy.
Yep.
Okay. So go ahead and give us an update.
Okay, Megan got pictures of the site, that's what we did cleaning up last week.
Nice, they emailed him too as well.
Okay.
Why I'm sitting here.
Okay.
They,
Here, do you include Miranda on that or just a me?
Mike and-
Oh, yeah, for
what do we get?
He sent me some pictures
Oh,
of the site. Or my daughter took.
you care, but
No, go ahead, you can scroll through there, and I think there are about 7 pictures.
what do you know on the steel bin?
It's supposed to be going out today.
Okay,
I don't know, I know that I called him to get that other one shipped out. The driver told me, and he's only been there 2 weeks, that, the drummer wasn't on the board when he took over. They did come in right after you guys called.
exactly. They were saying that they didn't have no calls and no record of even trying to get, but we got that took care of now. You just gotta call them. Whenever that's even half full, she said, just call them, they'll come and get it right away. They'll work with you or whatever. They just said nobody's touched bases and I don't like saying he say, she say, but that's what they told me on the 24th and I called.
I'm sure I talked to you when I called him on let me check, make sure what day it was.
I'd say email them as well, so there's part of the paper trail, you know.
I don't have any emails from him, and when I call, they don't even answer, they don't even have a, answering machine on their system.
The number I called, she answered right away, and was just, and said we'll be here tomorrow to get it. That was on the 24th.
Yeah,
There was no, I talked to the lady, and it was all good.
yeah,
You have this number?
yeah,
406-782-0402.
yep,
Yeah, I called and they just answered right away, and she even called back. Again.
I'll try to track down an email, cause that, if we can do both, maybe do both if we can email them, so we can say, hey, we emailed you on
Yeah.
this date.
Yeah, that's fine, I'm just saying that they
Yeah.
didn't answer right
Yeah.
away.
yeah, I called from, and, we had a discussion on when they were, their days off, cause they take Saturday, Sunday off. So they wouldn't be out Saturday, and then I told them that we take Monday, Sunday and Monday off, so we decided on today.
Yeah, she was all good with everything, she just said it just needed to be communication with them, and they set it up and get it cleaned up.
Yeah, and, we got a lot of it done, that old camper's out of there. I don't know that we got a full bin here quite left.
Let's just, whatever it is, John, let's just get it cleaned up and then we'll caught right up.
What I planned on doing, I really thought they would be here right at 10, or, I know they got a key to the gate, so I thought earlier in that I had the bin pulled out for them, ready to go, when I still haven't seen anybody, so. But, Drew said he'd be here today, so I hope they get here pretty fast. And as far as the budget goes, I'm thinking about 10 hours a month, to have somebody come in and help pick up and stuff. Get anything that might blow up on the hills and stuff. We cleaned up the upper grabs. So you could probably look at the pictures by now and see what we've done, so.
We said it looks a lot better, we just got the pictures, so, I mean, stuff like that, if we can get them into it a little sooner, and then we have them.
So what do you think on the 10 hours?
We'll talk about it. in the
Okay,
budget.
we'll talk about 10 hours.
One thing to consider there is it could be like a cap, and if he doesn't need it, then
Yeah.
don't. Yeah,
Well, that's the thing,
yeah,
once we get this all cleaned up, it's gonna be a range on what
Yeah.
is home.
yeah, it could be been on the wind and everything, you know. One thing is, refresh you guys, remember you talked about phasing out the kind of the public area there, so it's something they need to, I mean, maybe not today, but eventually talk about how to do.
Well, yeah, I see where she, on her pictures there, shows it's all them bicycles and all that's gone, I just think the person just keep it that way, and if there's stuff somebody wants,
It's a dump. Is that the dump? It's garbage. In my mind.
and on the refrigerators and all that, we're getting caught up on all that, right, John?
There's one left on site that's waiting for the middle bin to go out, and 2 air conditioners, and then they'll be all right.
Cool. And then we'll get the training set up and everything, make sure everybody's doing the training.
That's great.
Okay, the other one. So, other than that, that's about all I have to say. No, it looks like it's looking better.
Yeah.
Thanks, that's all we've been asking.
All righty, sir.
Anything else you got?
Is there anything else we need to know about it?
There's one thing in my job description that I'm kind of curious about.
What's that?
It's says that I am the supervisor for both Drummond and Phillipsburg.
Now, we're just gonna, you take care of your area and you take care of his.
That was changed years ago.
That's what I thought.
So maybe in that
Yeah, but
latest,
in my new job description that you just sent me, it says that I will be over both.
Now,
just a draft, just a draft and so, yeah.
it was just draft on, cause everybody wanted to see what the job description after we change what we have.
Yeah,
You'll take care of yours, but he'll take care, and then we don't have no conflict.
we'll make sure that's corrected, John.
Yeah. Yeah,
I figured that would happen, but I just wanted to make sure, so.
That's in the, yeah, coming up in the budget and stuff that we look at that.
Yeah.
This way everybody has the job description in front of them, because they were saying they did.
let's see, it's on the agenda, isn't it? You know,
Yeah, I think it was in 2017 when both dump sites had their own supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So we just changed that, but they were just so you could look at your job description over and give us what you're thinking. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that was the only thing that threw me for a loop is where it said there's that one chapter in it that says that I would oversee Phillipsburg and, Drummond.
We're just,
It says, strictly Phillipsburg. I figured it must have been a typo or something, but I wanted to just clarify it.
Wayne,
so I think, yeah, this was the time set for that then. So, yeah, you guys want any other changes and talk about?
no, we're just kind of leaving it up to them to bring it into us and look over the job description for the way it's changed and what they gotta do.
You want it on for next week for
Yeah,
finalizing it?
yeah, final next week, and then we'll change that, and if there's something else, try to get it before Tuesday to us, John. And then that way we can make a discussion decision on Tuesday.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so John, that job site or that prescription that you have, I didn't go through, I didn't read it, so I probably missed the part where it said you were oversight on both dump sites.
Yeah.
We'll correct.
We'll correct that. Any other questions?
I think so.
Everything else is running good?
Yep.
All right, yeah, just, keep on top of that steel and call them again and go from there.
Yeah, they told me Tuesday, they didn't set a time. It's pulled out, tap down, all they have to do is throw their covering over it and pick it up and set the other one, so.
Sounds good.
But, and we have a lady now, you mentioned the bicycles, we have a lady that's coming and picking up her Anaconda recycle for a recycle thing that fixes bikes up for, kids and stuff. And we have one out of Missoula, so hopefully between the two of them, we'll keep them cleaned up and out of here. If they sit very long around, just put them in the metal bin.
Yeah, just so we keep everything, yeah.
Good plan, recycle.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Alright,
Good job, John.
alright, thank you.
Thanks.
Talk to you later.
Alright.
Bye.
Do you have anything else on this? On this,
Not on that at all, so,
on the next part?
Back at 11th.
yep,
11th?
yeah, and I'll bring up with Todd about the job description, have him look it over. 'Cause I haven't heard anything from him about it, so. Perfect.
So you'd think once it's cleaned up, he'd be able to delegate his time a little better to pick up.
That's the whole reason why we want to, get it all cleaned up. So
The
we can.
helping hand is when he gets out of control.
Right.
It's not a regular
Yeah.
10 hours extra a month.
Well, it's not guaranteed. I mean, once this is cleaned up, we were kind of talking like we're gonna spin the lips or to get it cleaned up, and then let's
Right.
keep it cleaned
Then
up.
there's just a little maybe to
Yeah.
maintain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
The wind comes up and blows it in the neighborhood and needs, that's about all I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe an hour or two a month where you have, just do a circle if it's that much.
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds good.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
if I see you at 11.
Yeah, sounds good. And it might come up now.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, on that, knock you up. As long as we talk about solid waste, we had a application for a part-time person, being it's still on solid waste, you have a couple minutes, can we accept the application?
Yeah,
It's been in here, and so, but we need to let them know it's a part-time.
Yeah, I got misplaced.
Yeah.
Just got it.
So I'd make a, or entertain a motion to go ahead and accept the application for part-time. Get him an email right away, so
Make that motion.
on this one, he's the one that, he does not wanna work part-time in the courthouse, he just
He
wants
just
to.
wants-
Just follow it.
And fine with that.
I'll second it.
Public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, you got that.
Do I need to leave one for this? meeting?
Yeah. Yeah,
the,
I think. Yeah,
so, yeah,
yeah,
part of this would be, yeah,
that's cool, it's a personnel thing, right? Sorry. we'll keep-
litigation strategy.
Yeah, we're getting it, we're beyond ready to go. Oh,
These give you problems?
oh, bad, here we go. Okay, we're back on, and, after talking and that, we'll have a letter from Marine from Mako, sending on the possibility of litigation. Need comments? All right, being none that, we're into the, issue of possible removal of local government study commission member Dr. Gary Schroeder. Discussion decision.
You want me to give some history here?
Sorry.
Okay. So, I guess my summary of the issues are that all the meetings they've had, Dr. Schneider's been a disruption to the meeting. He's taking the focus away from studying government to the Montana Constitution. Montana Constitution trumps, but these meetings are supposed to be about the process to study government. He's threatened twice to sue the county over stuff that we've done. Named himself, self-appointed himself acting chair without a public meeting, without a quorum. Directing Miranda to post public meeting notices when he doesn't have the authority to do that. And then to me, his litigation is not in good faith. He's saying that the county commissioner and the county attorney are the ones that are causing the disruption when it's him. In my opinion, the reason why the two members of the study commission resigned was substantially because of the stress he caused. So the statute allows him to be removed for cause if this kind of commission finds there's good cause.
So, we make a
In my-
motion.
I'd maybe take public comment and comment from the commission.
I mean, in my mind, I mean, he has been disruptive since this commission has started. I've gotten emails, I think he sent all of us, it was the same deal, like it's gonna sue us and it's just been a headache. in My mind.
Luke, you have anything? What?
I've been there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what
I
what
was
I
at the
say
meeting.
correct?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you agree with what I said?
I agree. It was horrible sessions. And which I sat and I said nothing because I'm just, but
Ex officio member.
officio, but it was very difficult, and our local newspaper person was there too, so he can attest.
Their audio recorded. There was a meeting in reference, it was in January. Was that one recorded or do we know?
I'll have to look at their flash drive they gave me. I'll double
And-
check that.
Okay, in the, filing a motion to dismiss as litigation, and we're attaching the recorded meeting, so the judge will be able to listen to that.
So is this just the
Right.
copy or do I sign this?
It's a rough draft, so if you have any
Yeah, it looks
updates,
good to me,
Oh, yeah.
except that
the
you have
number,
14 and
Yeah.
there's nothing,
the numbering needs corrected.
okay. But
I'll,
there's a
reprint
blank
it for,
spot with blank spot.
yeah,
with
okay,
14.
I'll correct that and bring it down.
So do we go ahead with a motion on the removal of it? Right
I wonder if
now,
there's any more,
any other public comment? You know, and
I think, maybe, having Blanche make like a summary of you guys' find, you know, what you found here today.
I think we're all on the same page with.
Yeah, just so it's in the minutes of what the commission's thinking is on findings regarding good cause.
Um. With me as a witness, as the ex officio. During all these meetings, every meeting has been disruptive. The two commissioners who resigned simply because of the fact they couldn't agree with, Dr. Snyder. And you couldn't, it was just really hard to reason with him at all. He absolutely made it difficult to even have a decent commissioners meeting with the study commission.
The study commission getting, I mean, were they moving forward with studying government?
That they were, I mean, they were really, really super good ideas, and there were some ideas that, yeah, he agreed on, and then he wanted to do his own website. And, he felt that he wanted to do more for the public than what he felt the commission was doing as a whole, and he didn't seem to me that he wanted to participate in what the other two commissioners were trying to, make happen, and that was getting public involvement for exactly what this study commission entails.
Right. The meeting I attended there, I believe it was in March. The meeting I attended, he, to me, it was disrupting, and all he wanted to talk about was the Montana Constitution. That's, Montana Constitution supersedes all, but that's not the point of the meeting is studying government. And, then he questioned whether, the other two members were actually legally on the, valid commission members. And so, I said to him that if he keeps that up, that would potentially look into having him removed. And at that time, I didn't say he would be removed. There's a key distinction there.
There was also anytime he had formal, information, what I say, he would say to, the self-elected chairman of the board for, Gail, like he appointed herself.
Oh, yeah, but that was done in, open meeting right here before the commission, notice public meeting.
I mean, there were little slurs and little things, innuendos and things said privately to these two ladies by email, from what I understand from what they said, that was totally bullying and really upset them, their anxiety level, where they felt that they had to resign. That's just my opinion, my take on the feelings that they had. And this is, I'm sitting here as neutral as I possibly can, bystander, just being present for all these meetings.
Yeah, you're wanting to see it succeed, the commission succeed,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
Do you see it succeeding with him being with Dr. Steiner being on the commission? Do you see it succeeding?
you say what?
If he remains on the commission, do you see it succeeding and being
No,
able
I
to
do
fulfill
not.
its purpose?
I do not. I do not think this person can work with anyone, including and any other applicants that that apply for the study commission. My feelings.
So entertain a motion.
I'll motion to remove Dr. Snyder from the county
Local government study commission.
local government study commission.
I'll second that.
Public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion been carried and passed.
I'll
Draft.
draft the letter. You want, yeah, so I'll draft it for commission signatures, so
We can put it on next week.
next week for, sending the letter,
Final.
final letter.
Alrighty, moving on, we have the study commission board applications. We have 2 people applying for the Granite County Study Commission. One's Jacqueline M. Butler, the other one's Elena. Did that?
Agree on it.
Anyone? So now we,
I'm gonna make a motion that we accept those 2 applicants and get on with the study commission.
I would advise against that, just because I think it's gonna, personally seen how Jackie Butler acted
I know,
as
we
a
can't go by
county.
Personal feelings.
But no, she actually was removed from the town council. And then Elena, nothing but nitpicks, you guys. And so I think that's setting it up to failure.
I think we have one more week left of having applicants fill. Is that what it was? One more week?
So you made a reasoning about Jackie, how about Elena?
Just because continually, she doesn't, very little of giving public comment to you guys. She just continues to nitpick the commission and fight with the commission. I think that continues on with her as a study commissioner.
now all the emails coming and that.
I see we'll have the same problem that we had with the former one. Moving forward.
And I am giving my personal opinion, but there is evidence to back that up.
Or someone else amending my motion?
You want to amend their motion if we don't?
Oh. Yeah, then Commissioner Bird's motion.
To not accepting these 2.
I'll second it. Public comment,
Yes, my name is Luke Lachowski.
could you come up and do your?
My name is Luke Lachowski. I think Elena is a very engaged citizen and she knows her stuff, and I disagree that she would be disruptive in the study commission meeting, so I would vouch for her, with us maybe. So that's how I am.
Any other public comment? Being none, all in favor? Aye, opposed?
Aye, nay.
Motion carried. Alrighty. We got caught up for a few minutes. Elena, go ahead. That'll be on video. Nothing on, so we'll move ahead. We still have a few minutes, so in case she's trying to get on there. There's, oh, she took her thing. She was on and she took the piece of paper off.
Yeah.
So she can't, it did show her
I
video.
just seen her in there,
Yeah.
but there she is.
There she is.
Up.
Hold on, Elaine, I'll get you in.
A second.
Now you see me. Are you happy? You didn't know me before. Now I'm going to talk because you opened it up for me. Okay? Now, I applied. I also happened to, oh, look at the time. See this? And the county commissioner, I'm sorry, I mean county attorney, thinks it's a bad idea. And you're going against the Commissioner Luke, who is on the study commission. And as far as your justification was what? May I hear that again for denying me? May I hear that again? The motion why I'm being denied? Well, very interesting. It truly is really interesting. How you think this is funny?
Did you not hear what I said earlier, Elena?
If I did, I wouldn't be asking again.
Oh, earlier you said you heard me, but you wanted to restate it.
Correct.
So we don't have to restate what we said.
And may I ask why you are not on camera? Since you are responding and you have comments, but you're not on camera, may I ask that?
The owl must not be working
Al must not be
properly.
working.
It was working before. Apparently, you
Yeah.
turn it on and off whenever you feel like it, but this is the whole thing.
Can you
Luke,
talk?
you are, okay, one other thing. You have extended this so many times, the applications, the deadline was yesterday. Okay, now you're going to extend it another week? We are past half a year, and this thing hasn't even gotten started as far as the local government review. This is not thinking about the public, is it? After all, the public voted not only for a local government review study, but they also elected the commissioners. And that was a while ago. And we haven't gotten anywhere. And you completely ignored a commissioner who you appointed, and he is the commissioner, Luke. Okay, so now he's going to sit there and not do anything. And we're going to delay this again. And I'll just refile again. Based on Commissioner Luke's recommendation. And until you actually remove an elected commissioner, Gary Snyder, which there is a process, like the Attorney General, Austin Knudsen, told me there is a proper process. And he was an elected official. If I decided I wanted to remove, Commissioner Kolaski, there's a proper process of doing it. Not that we'll just remove him. Doesn't work that way. And Mr. Bradshaw, I think you mentioned 2 people at one of the meetings is a quorum. You mentioned that. And I've seen this commission meeting with only 2 commissioners. Did you say, well, I'm sorry, we can't have a meeting. We only have 2 commissioners. No. So there's a lot of controversy, a lot of statements that need clarification. And again, there's a proper process. And I don't think you guys are doing it. I'm sorry for the record. And you're denying me, by the way, my right to participate according to the Constitution. You can go better than what the codes say and the Constitution says, but you can't limit my constitutionally protected rights to speak and not tell me, oh, you got to show your camera. And then you can't even call. If I made a telephone call because I'm not in a position have a computer in front of me. By the way, the owl is working, but I still don't see the county attorney. You can't comment.
Out of your 3 minutes.
Pardon?
Okay. Statement if I may.
Go ahead, Lon.
I want to reiterate the fact that, okay, now we do have two study commissioners and we have two applications. Then I'm going to say that we need to accept Elena Gagliano's application to be on the study board commission with the recommendation of the study commissioner who is present today.
One clarification, we only have one on there now with Dr. Steiner removed, so.
Well, you removed him right now, or do you have to go through a process of removing?
Oh, yeah, it's removed.
So he's removed.
Yeah, we just voted. on it.
Okay, we
Yeah.
voted on it. I thought we had to go through a process.
We've been going every week to make sure it's done right, so.
So, yeah, put on the agenda twice. The, and it does need sent the letter, the notice does need given, yeah.
I just agree with Elena on the subject that she did file, she did apply. Luke is saying he feels he could work with her. This would give us a forum. And I feel that we should let Elena be on the study commissioner board and elect her as a study commissioner.
I mean, we already voted on it, so.
I know, but I'm saying I wanted amended.
You can make that motion.
So you're moving to amend the, decision and, appoint her as study commissioner.
I want to amend the decision on the motion not to accept any of the two applications that came in today and to accept the one application with, that's from Elena Gagliano.
Do I have a second?
Oh, second.
Public comment? Being none, all in favor? Opposed? Aye.
She did get votes, I guess.
Go ahead, Elena. We can't hear you.
I know I have to unmute myself. Thank you very much. Thank you, Blanche. And I think Paul, you seconded.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I look forward to working with you, Blanche, as the ex officio, as well as Commissioner Luke, and we'll get this thing going. Thank you.
And for the record, will not be representing the commission. They can have their own attorney and pay for it. I will not. You can put that in the paper.
Thank you.
Being that, we'll move ahead. Tri-County Fair Board applicant Jesse Jacobson, we have it here. I'd recommend that we appoint Jesse Jacobson to the Fair Board.
I'll motion to let Jesse Jacobson to the Tri-County Fair Board.
Second.
Oh, you made the motion? You made the motion. Oh, second.
Public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we'll take a letter to her and Miranda and Sophie, because they got the fair coming up pretty quick.
Hmm.
Okay. Next will be solid waste road crew negotiation, which is about 5 minutes.
So I have one question on the study commission. So you're gonna let it go another week to try to get another application in to make a quorum as we remove Dr. Snyder from the study commission?
I keep it open beyond that because you want three. You want
Until we
three.
can fill it?
Yeah. So potentially another notice that goes out and says, looking for one more applicant. And tell it's still to be open. Sound good?
And we'll leave.
Scheduled breaks through all this. The agenda, like
Yeah.
15 minutes. Break.
Okay,
You know, you guys, everyone can agree to disagree, right?
yes.
Yeah.
That's what it's about,
Yeah.
right? Read this. So
Oh, it's a warm one today,
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
really hot here.
Ready to jump in the creek and a rip lake.
It'll be high 80s.
I need it to be.
Yeah. You should.
Where's
Well,
his
But it blows my papers up.
grading this?
Is it?
Yeah.
Is this just a heater?
Yes, it just heat.
Oh, yeah, this is-
Yeah. So I have there's a wall or a window one in my office and it, you know, like a
Yeah.
12,000 BTU or
Yeah.
something like that. Will cool this.
I need to
Yeah.
complete this.
Put a written request, right? Your boss.
Yes, please. I can have the custodians like, you know, desk.
Yeah.
I've been done it.
Yeah.
No.
The
Did you get documentation from that one guy? that
I
you
have,
have?
they're giving me the number, so I need to call them.
I have.
See if they can come.
Do we have his grading
Yeah.
list,
That
those he graded?
Yeah, for the one. way.
Yeah.
Or, McKinsey's and stuff.
Like
I
that.
think you just had him on record here down in Warren, and he's at Beaver Tail, they've been at Beaver Tail, which shows. I don't know if it's.
Well, I thought we were gonna have a list every week or something.
Yeah, I don't know, I'll have to call and ask him. I thought.
I mean, we started it, now it's like,
I thought he laid it here, I'll have to look. We'll go ahead into the union negotiations, come on up, Tony.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, too much.
The full commission gonna be in here or just
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we gotta leave.
What?
Sorry. Even better.
Yeah, there's a break you're out. No, yeah, not Zoom, but.
Okay, we're back in the session, waiting for the other two commissioners, but we're still in negotiations and, when they come in, I'll go over that. I don't know if we do that on Zoom.
We're still.
On the note though, we'll wait till Blanche gets here,
I didn't see you come back in.
this is what they. Sorry.
This is what we agreed to, or?
Now we're still in negotiations, in 2 weeks, we'll do it again.
No,
We guess after, once we get settled, we have to pay them, whatever, but on that note, everybody's union, the other person at the solid waste was union too. Todd, that wasn't union, Jody was not union,
Right,
and she just told me, I said, well, we don't have nothing to say in that. So she's gonna get some paperwork to us to make sure and show that he signed up for union, Todd.
okay,
Does that make a difference?
is Kindle?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, okay.
and that's why she.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Which is their, whatever, they can, you know,
Right, so are the highlighted ones what they're coming back at and the other
yeah,
ones?
this is what they
This
want,
is what-
they don't, they want 450 instead of 500. Cause I brought up, to them, you know, we supply everything, there isn't nothing that we don't, I mean, we just keep asking it, yeah.
Coats,
Glass,
vests, cartons, plastic.
beer plug, and then the coat, I said from t-shirts to vests to winter coats.
Yeah, I mean, the clothing one, yeah. I mean, a pair of boots anymore, a good pair is $300
Yeah. Or more.
or more.
But I mean, that's totally up to them, that's just what we,
Yeah.
you know, what they wanna buy with that,
And then cola plus longevity is what they want.
yeah. Plus that dollar. They went from $1.50 to $1
Oh, okay.
an hour. And he wanted me
And
to make
25
sure
cents to the pension.
and he wanted me to make sure that you both.
Didn't holler at me.
Oh, he would.
I was in the clerk and recorder's office.
You want us both in the left?
That, he has what they're bringing back, they want 450 instead of 500. And then,
Did you mention to him that we do give him 20? Oh,
Yeah.
you did, okay.
plus he wanted me to make sure that, John, he wanted me to say that, make sure that realize that you guys got a big raise.
Yeah, he already told you that.
Yeah, I heard it. And I said, I know, I've been told and told.
Right.
That's apples and oranges. What you should call them, apples and oranges,
Yes, I was supposed to tell you.
bananas and grapefruit.
So that's what they're kind of asking for, and it's 2 weeks, so we'll go over it next week put it on the agenda and go over it. I just wanted to, and that guy out at the solid waste, but.
Huh?
The guy out at solid waste, he joined the union. No, he wasn't, he joined, so everybody's union that we have working for us.
Yeah, and that's good.
Alrighty, on that note. At 11:30, we're a few minutes early. Granite Road issues, brainstorm possible solutions such as home HOA's discussion decision.
With Cameron,
Here,
with Cameron again,
Who?
Cameron
Cameron.
Razor,
Oh,
he should be coming in.
okay, well, we have a few minutes anyway, so. So that both is together, the
Yep.
brainstorm with the road agreement.
The Schedule A for,
I guess when I looked at it, I didn't want to. Want to be practical. I think we're gonna start putting them in work. Oh. We'll put that on for next week to go over it. Got union. Net negotiation, thing, Miranda, we'll put it on for next week's agenda.
what is it?
Our union negotiation.
Oh, yep,
Then we can go over it.
yep, the 8th and 15th.
so this next agenda item, is that coming from you, Linda?
Nope.
No, it's Cameron, she said Cameron, and they're both kind of together, the HOAs and, then we have that road agreement with that schedule, I don't know how we're doing.
Where's our schedule?
It's ready, ready.
Yeah, I probably have copies. Let's see.
You do.
So we're just kind of right now waiting on Cameron, what do you have for us?
I'm just down here for this.
I invited her.
Did you
We're
see
trying
the
to
stuff on, Matt Pearson and we're going, did you watch that?
I did that yesterday. It's a really nice.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, really nice system.
When Paul was gonna get a hold of you on a couple roads.
That
Oh,
Pine
okay.
Point, did he come up after?
I haven't seen it today, but
He said he would get a hold of you right away, so. Okay, Cameron.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Were you up?
Yeah.
Going.
Good to see you.
Cameron.
oh,
Going.
you did the wrong thing. Hey,
All right, we'll go ahead and jump into
I
the
give you a little.
granite road issues, a brainstorm, possible solutions such as HOAs. Um,
Yeah, so I'll kind of set the stage after I get this map out, you guys. It's a terrible map, I apologize, my map making skills right now are pretty poor.
you need to get a hold of our map. I
know, yeah, map,
I don't know what
It's
the.
hard in the
game is here.
yeah, right? This is like Frogger or something.
Yeah.
So these are all the claims that are back behind Phillipsburg. And what's been happening, there's just been a lot of development up there in the last few years. And some folks that live on some of the perimeters of the Forest Service and those lots are wanting to request access through the Forest Service to get to their lot. When other access is provided through roads that are existing on the landscape out there, but some neighbors may not be playing real nice with other neighbors. So it's it's gotten to be enough now that I feel like we need to get involved in through planning or something to really look at how we want this managed in the future. Because I'm also thinking of fire protection, emergency services up there. As this continues to get developed, I don't want like 100 roads crossing the Forest Service to get to some of these other lots when there's other roads that are there. So it's just a concern that's been coming in. I don't have an answer. I don't even have a suggestion on what to do here.
Are you thinking, Cameron, then that, by looking on here and you start. The designated areas that were actually still there, or there's no trail that being that's here, that, you know what I'm saying, that we start designating, make sure that they realize this is not county. County roads, that these trails and stuff going into these.
I think a great start would be knowing what are historic roads through this area that would be considered public or county.
Right.
I think that would be great to know too, cause we can look, there's a few Forest Service roads through there, hopefully there's some historic public roads in there. And then, what,
Prescribed prescriptions on some of that where it's gonna come in too, where they get used at the wrong time, and we talked about that before.
so where's granite on this map? Is that for those dark
I
spots
would say that's the
Right
dark
there?
spot in the middle of the white, yep,
Okay.
right there,
right in the middle of the claim?
yeah.
And are these just representative of roads, not necessarily Forest Service roads?
The green lines
Or
that you
forest?
see on there, those are just roads that we have in our record.
Okay, but they're not Forest Service roads,
That needs to be determined, yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Are you guys gonna determine that, or are you?
Well, we'll look at
You're
what,
looking at Linda like.
Yeah,
we could look back in our records. I do know in a lot of these areas, some of those main green roads, at least historically, have a Forest Service number. That's why I tried to get the topo map on the background. But it didn't pan out. Sorry.
Where are they, I guess, I'm just trying to get some, like, context, where are they trying to cross?
It would be more towards
Are they,
like these kind of lots where they would be coming off with like a,
Right here, you saying, Cameron?
yeah, like out on the edges and stuff, yep.
and then wanting to cross straight
Straight
instead of
across the
go
Forest Service,
or
right,
on the existing roads?
yep.
How are you feeling about giving them the access to it and cutting to, are you trying to stay on what you actually have there? Or are you gonna be able to give them access through it, like mining claims? I guess
I
that's.
mean, technically by law, I don't have to. But I would rather, I mean, the development that's up there, there's a lot more to come in the next 20, 30 years. So, I mean, we're behind it already. I mean, COVID put us
This is
behind us.
granite, right? This isn't the lake.
Granite is right, the black spot right in the.
So it's all right.
Okay.
This ground.
So this is what you're,
These are mining claims.
right, I see that, I know they're mining.
Yeah, it's folks that live on the edges here that are wanting to come off of other Forest Service roads to like get into a lot where maybe a neighbor's not letting them come in a different way.
I guess, I mean. So, all of these mining claims should have had an access when they were patented. They can go find their access, I mean, you can go online and pull up the BLM record. And, see where the road was, and I mean, it doesn't show you where the road is that you maybe come in on, but it shows you where your road crosses the property, which intuitively gives you where your road is coming through other people's mining claims or whatnot. But then, you know, maybe like the Forest Service needs to talk to BLM and Garnet, cause Garnet is very similar. And I know BLM, they do not give. They don't let you just cross. You have to follow existing roads. I mean, that's the thing is,
They even tried to use that snowmobile.
Yeah.
Snowmobile trail when we went on.
yeah,
They put gates and stuff with BLM up in Garnett. We know quite a bit about that. And
and
these people want them, you know, it's gonna be pushed back on them to show the proof and the stuff of what's right.
Is your son that are saying our predecessor always crossed here, so we're gonna, is that what they're?
No, a lot of
Are
it,
they-
they need to build new road or
Oh,
new
okay.
trail.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
there's no road into it. Is that what they're
No,
saying?
some of them are, there is an access road, but their neighbor's not letting them go through it.
Do they have the access, being as a patent that they get stopped them from going through your ground on a patent that claim?
Say that question again.
Okay, on these patent claims, can they actually stop somebody from going through their claim to?
Private matter, but
That's-
I don't want 100 roads crossing more
That's what
Forest
I was
Service
wondering.
when, right? But back to just the emergency services, and what if each one of these gets 1 or 2 houses on it 30 years from now?
Yeah.
Like, planning wise, I feel like we should be planning this because some of those roads they're just beyond terrible.
And I guess this is the county's and from my point of view, this is the county's problem is we have no say in this. I mean, they're existing lots for us. They're existing lots, they can be built on. This all, for me, comes down to you know what you're buying, and you're buying a piece of incredibly difficult to get to land up on the top of a mountain. And if you choose not to go look at it before you buy it, well, shame on you. But I mean, because, you know, I know on the thing it said HOAs, we can't force them to do an HOA. We can, the only mechanism we have is like a road users district. And that would require the county to take the roads, which I would never recommend you take roads up there, especially when we don't already own the right of way to the roads. And we kind of have an unwritten policy that we won't take a road unless it's to the county standard. Well, getting one of these to county standards, millions of dollars. It's not cost effective, never gonna be cost effective. When people in the Garnet and these areas call me and say, hey, I want to divide, I tell them, no, you're probably never gonna get the divide. I've been here 20 years, I've never seen divisions in these areas because they are not accessible. You can't, you know, it's just not cost effective. What's there is there. And some of these people need to take some personal responsibility about, hey, you bought this. You should have made sure you had access. We can't get you access. This isn't our dog in the fight. You need to go fight this through court. And I think the Forest Service, unfortunately, may have to take the hard stand up that the BLM has of, we aren't gonna let you cross. Go figure out your access. You've had access. This is a patented mining claim. It has to have had access in the past. You need to go figure it out and find it.
So that definitely helps with assuming what you're saying is true with patented license plate. I
Yeah,
really appreciate that, cause that helps my rationale of why to say no. But that doesn't solve, and now I'm stepping way out of my lane, that doesn't solve what we want this mountain to look like 30 years from now. And are they gonna be coming down, griping about, well, you can't get an ambulance up there or whatever? And that's where I'm wondering if through legalities or forcing HOAs, is there a way that put a little control up there, I guess, so it just doesn't end up being a random 200 homes up on the hill.
I mean, it potentially could be an option saying we're gonna conditional having an ambulance up there upon you guys forming a HOA and having the road clear enough to get there, or we're at least working it out. But, yeah, that's a,
Wildfire mitigation. I mean, what if there's a fire out on the Forest Service and then it burns down all the places that are up there? And then they come after me for liability because,
Yeah, that was your patent claim.
well, it's not fire, but I mean, that's what I'm kind of worried about. Like, if we're gonna promote, and we're not necessarily promoting this, but we're
in that time.
we're in that time and we know what's going on up there, and if we don't do anything now. And I wanted you to come because it's right, it's the,
Yeah, well,
it's the veteran community.
Listening to what thus far, where we're at now and projecting out, and then the amount of things we don't know. I think it would make sense to start the process of an inventory of some sort, like there's this much mileage. There's this much of the mileage percentage is Forest Service, there's this much is private, and find and inventory it somehow and find out the layout of it, how it, you know what I mean? It's like, what exists up there under what conditions? You might have a half a dozen conditions. Oh, this falls into this lane, this falls into this lane. Just a basic inventory, because we don't even really know what's going on.
Well, what
Yeah,
Linda
yeah.
says is true, though, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter,
Well,
because if it's a patented claim, there should be access already. somehow.
right, and if.
It's been documented.
Hmm?
We should have been documented on the.
Well, sure, and I totally understand, having lived off the grid most of my life, that you buy the whole package. You don't do that and say, I don't want anything to do with you except when I want something to do with you. I get that, and that kind of peeves me a little bit, like, hey, you're at 8,000 feet in the middle of nowhere, suck it up. Even if you have to walk in somewhere, but those are the things that people, their expectations or whatever, but I think that, with what's going on there now, I guess more information is better, right? So you can make a determination of some sort, like, oh, everyone in this category, you gotta figure it out yourself, because you're on a patented claim, and it should be in the documents, right? I mean, it should be registered in court, and when they did the transaction. So it's hard, because we don't want to babysit these people, that's not our job. So, I mean, it's just like, how much is up there, right?
and one of the patented, when you look at the patents, they say on there, roads associated with the government access, da, 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 da. And that maybe is a discussion that the Forest Service needs to have with BLM. Well, what kind of access does that guarantee them? Did it guarantee them access? I don't know on that.
Even like a short blurb in response that says, you need to follow. Here's your path forward, A, B, C, D, here, do it, like give them a direction to steer, like, you need to go talk to these folks or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it easier for you, so you have an answer of some sort, yeah.
I think you make a good point. I mean, we could, work with the Forest Service road people, call Matt Pierce, just to have an initial conversation of, who's who and get that figured out. I don't know, that's fine. But this all just looked like a jumbled mess to me.
Yeah, and again, it's like how much time and resources you guys wanna put into
Yeah.
these. But if there was something that synopsized it somehow, to say, here, you have to go follow the following directions on your own time or whatever. Some kind of response. We can't
And
run-
I guess for the county, we have two. If they came in to subdivide, like I said, then they would have to bring things to standard. Part of the only thing right now that we have to be able to control this is to say, no, we're not letting you subdivide, which is pretty much what we do. We say, no, we're not gonna let you, there's no viable access, no utilities. It's not just this, Garnet people get that response, these people get it, Red Line people get it from me. So there's a lot of places in the county where I'm just like, no, I don't viably see how you're ever gonna develop this. If you bought it to develop it, you should have done some due diligence and called beforehand. Cause it's just not gonna be able to happen. The only other tool we really have is zoning, and I don't know how we'd ever get this zoned. And even if we zoned it, we'd have to give each of them a buildable one residence. I mean, and all we really get is at that point to say, you know, you can't divide it, or they have to be 20-acre lots, or, you know,
Which they are.
which they are, yeah, I mean, we can't really manipulate it much harder than that. Because they all are just viable buildable lots. I will say one thing, this stuff, it tends to be cyclical in its development nature, from what I've seen in the records. So, I've seen, it seems like it rolls in periods about every 50 years. We seem to get a slew of these things on tax deeds, and then we sell them off again. And then about 50 years, we get that same mining claims back in tax deeds.
The big
And we
difference
sell
now
them off
though is
again.
living off grid
Yeah.
is way easier with technology.
There's a bunch of
So
people up there, yeah.
Yeah,
The
so there's gonna
third,
be more and more.
the third control the county have is the county owns the ambulances. That is I mean, granted, I mean, you wanna have that serve everyone, but to send them to a place that's, gonna break up, break the ambulance, I mean, that's what
You're
some
working
consider.
for volunteers and a hell of a
Yeah.
time, sure. Start sending up, we all know what it's like up there, next thing you know, you're sending another ambulance up to get them.
And we could certainly, I guess, send a note off, the commission could send a note to the local realtors just saying, you know, places that are being sold, it need to be told that emergency services are not available to all places, depending on your access, depending on weather events, depending on road accessibility. It's just not, it's not, you know, if you're needing an ATV to get to your place, we can't get an ambulance to you. That's just logical sense. You need to know what you're buying. And I will say that there were a lot of people that during COVID bought places up on Granite, and specifically that came in here to Sarah and said, how do I go find my land? Okay, come on, you know, you get what you get, buddy. You didn't even look at it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we can't control the realtors, but we can't control where the ambulance goes, I mean, and this litigation with, Mr. Grassy, he tried to get in the county, injunction against the county, they're forcing the county to tell control the realtors and tell them what to say. We did a motion to dismiss that injunction request, because county commission has no control over what realtors do and say, it's no regulated.
So this road the green road that's got the black dots, that the one that goes towards Fred again? From Granite?
No, that one goes, I think that one goes Racetrack Lake, didn't
The racetrack that we're
it?
at?
Yeah,
Okay. That's that main road, though,
the
right?
Fredborough Road would be the one right below the green road that's kind of following
The
claims along the
claims
street.
along, okay.
Yeah.
And for the county, we go up Granite, and then this dotted line that's going straight down to connect to Fredburg and Crosscut, that is definitely county. That goes straight up to Granite.
Mhm.
I don't know how viable it is for access, but that's county, but other than that, I don't think we have anything up in these mining claims. And some of them are going to be difficult to get to.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it, to some degree, this may be the Forest Service taking a hard line saying, we're not gonna. Until you have shown that you have never had access, that you can't find access any other way, we're not going to look at, doing access, providing access, or, you know, maybe, like I said, talk with BLM, see how they do it, but they seem to make people comply
the history of those mining claims? Was that all once upon a time US government property or who, or?
It was all government property that they got a mining claim to patent.
There's some possibilities of claiming, easement by necessity, but they'd have to
Yeah.
report on that one.
Exactly, the mining claims all have a little blurb in them about access and water rights. Usually, those two things, and, you know, they usually on the mining claim will show how the road's cutting across their property. Or how they're accessing their mines, but other than that, we just don't have a whole lot of information about. The BLM might have better records about, I mean, 'cause we're just getting to see the plat of the mining claim. And we can maybe pull up a map. There's field notes and other things that we don't have access to that they could, but that's all a lot of work. to Figure out, and that's unfortunately, people like to take the path of least resistance and just go find another road.
No,
I've also got one up at, is it Rainbow Lakes or Gold Creek Lakes? And right on the,
mhm.
there's a company from North Carolina that bought a bunch of those.
Wilco land.
Yeah, and I have told, I can't tell you how many people I've told, go look at it before you even talk to them, because this is inaccessible for most of the year. And, you know, it's beautiful, it is beautiful, I'll give you that, but you need a helicopter.
One guy asked me about a lot up there. He's like, well, I wanna build a road across Horse Surface and then get back here to build a house. And I go, it's a talus rock slope. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you need a helicopter to go from here to
Yeah.
there.
I look at them pictures and think, oh, this is
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And and you know, I had one guy who wanted to buy it to build a recreational lodge back there for 20 people, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's inaccessible. You just, I said, if you have enough money, I guess it would be possible, but you are talking a lot of money.
Well, what I'll do is I'll keep sticking to my guns and saying no. It's just I've been questioned enough that I thought maybe there's something bigger that we need to discuss here. And it sounds like there's just not much we can do. It's just private land.
So is all these one big patent and then they cut up, or is it just all?
They all cut up in little.
It's like even like, you know, this one at the bottom that looks like it just kind of goes up a draw or something like that, like there should be a 2-track and that was probably how you. Access all those.
Some were mules and horses were.
Yeah, or a trail.
It was just a trail and they blazed the trail and then they took that as a right of way. And that was crossing through people. We looked at that,
Yeah.
darn it.
Hmm.
It's been a mess over there too.
I can't imagine.
Of course, for the town, our main concern is the water line. We're
Yeah.
just sure of it, all this stuff, so we try to actively keep on monitoring it, and this time of the year, sort of we go up, I send people up there to check and see if there's anything new going on, so we put eyes on there at least once a year for that specific thing. To make sure, and we've encountered people that, you know, had stakes staked out over the water line, like, here's what we're gonna build, and we're like, no, you're not gonna go there, well. Or can I just tap into the water line? I'm like, and this is I understand why you'd wanna do that, but no.
So, for the record, I forgot to introduce you both. I just got a text that they didn't know who was talking. Sorry. Will you state your name?
Mayor Daniel Reddish.
District Ranger Cameron Razor.
Oh, Linda Bach planner. Blanche McClure commissioner. You know, the only other thing maybe you could do is say, hey, sometimes, you know, I always try to lead with, well, here's what you can do. You can fence the right of way. If there's a right of way that you're having problems with ATVs coming off of, you have the right to fence along the right of way. Go find out what the right of way is. If you don't know, you can't find it, assume 60 feet, fence. That's what you can do.
Might be easier to build a road up there than.
You're
gonna
build a road? No, I think it was time to bring it to the thing, but I'm still with Linda. Maybe there's a way that we can to the local realtors for now, or put it out. I don't know how easy to then just be everywhere. But I think it needs to be put out there. And, well, you're buying, but you need to take it, look, find out what you want.
Mhm.
We shouldn't have to be figuring out all this and they come in, they want, well, they said, well. Come on,
Okay.
common sense and buying and.
I know
Do you
that.
want Miranda and I to work on a letter? Yeah.
I think police, like this, at least removing them, you know, there's water line up there, there's stuff that they're not even looking at, and they're selling the thing, then they come back, and next thing you know, we got trouble with water.
I know there are individuals up there that have a more realistic point of view. In other words, they moved all the way on the top with their big family, they've got a nice cat, they take care of the roads. That's a reality. Now, those individuals have the resources and the desire to do that sort of thing. They're the opposite of what we're talking about.
Right.
We have people up there who, I wanna be in the middle and, you know.
Came right out
Yeah,
of New York City.
Yeah, exactly. And, but yet they want all the amenities, well, and live in town.
Yeah,
It got to start of it anyway, at least we got it all, kind of bringing it out, and we'll just move ahead with that. You guys good?
yeah, I think that's all we can
At
do.
least,
But we certainly will continue to say, no, you know, we're not gonna allow subdivisions. We're just not gonna allow them up there, and that's really our only way to control at least it getting worse.
So I have a question for you. You referenced something that, oh, they could go online at this particular location concerning patented claims and that kind of thing. So maybe
Yeah, we can put that in the
maybe
letter.
that would be a good idea, you know.
And on the website.
Right, that this, if you, in these conditions, you wanna pursue something on your own, here's the avenue to do it.
Mhm.
And then that reflects the fact that you just did blow them home.
Yeah.
Here, sure, we're not doing anything, but I'll give you this guy. Here's
Yeah,
the-
bring his number.
Yeah.
I
That's a
think
good
so,
idea.
that way, at least, you know.
6597033, I think.
Is there any other public comment on this? Just not being none, we'll go ahead and we'll jump into that. Okay.
Schedule it.
Road maintenance agreement.
Yeah. So this is just the yearly road maintenance plan.
Did it change at all, Kevin, or I haven't looked at the old one? right?
The Forest Service isn't planning to do any work on county roads. And then the only thing I drafted in part B was just normal Lakeshore Drive with the addition of the gravel for this year, and then winter plowing, and then the same with the Upper Georgetown Lake Road 406. Neither of those, the only change is adding that in the deal. That's the only addition to this year.
Adding what?
The gravel.
Oh, the gravel.
Did I entertain a motion?
To accept it. I will make a motion to accept the cooperative road, forest road agreement. 21-R0-1101-0200-014.
Oh, second.
Public comment?
You guys are, I mean, you're good with the gravel, right? That was the plan. Yeah.
Do you have more details on, like, when the
They,
work would take place and?
After the Paul was talking this morning, we're just about done down there and we're moving this way. They moved. Just trying to try to get that done. We're at 9,000 yards, we got about 1,000 yards left and it'll be coming this way. It's, what do you say that one blade was going down Stewart? Or not Stewart.
It'll be out Rock Creek.
Yeah.
And then start heading to the lake.
For a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
In July though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
That's quick, we had an hour on the.
I know.
There you go, Captain. Thanks, I mean, we hope you have back to us.
Yep, I'll get you a copy back.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks, family.
you look at skinny, man.
Huh?
What are you doing?
Summertime, man, you gotta run fast.
Always.
Thanks,
Bye.
Cameron, how's it run?
You're next, Jen.
It's on, it's called a encroachment permit renewal for Sunny Beach
Oh, yeah.
at Georgetown.
So, anyone on? I guess we're ahead of that.
Now, we're a little way ahead.
Yeah, I think, this is just um. We've been doing this one for ages with, Sunny Beaches, just like there's the one with Edwards Track. All the people there are good to deal with, they get their insurance in place, you have any issues with it?
I have no issues with this one.
I didn't entertain a motion.
I'll motion to accept the renewable enforcement permit for some LLC.
I'll second it.
Public comment? Being done, all in favor? Aye.
Oh, yeah.
40 minutes. For that one.
Got a lunch break almost.
Thanks, Every year. Is it necessary to do it every year? For the long term?
I think we wanted to do, I think we put it on. I think we put it on, do it every year, just in case we wanted to change, there was some comments before and they brought it to our attention, so we just said we do it here.
Okay.
So everybody's on the same page.
The encroachment permit, you
Yeah.
got sign? Oh, yeah. Okay. Thanks, Linda.
Thank you, Linda, for all you do.
Yes, yes.
Yes, Middleport Grand subdivision.
Oh, hey Linda. Do you know off the top of your head if this is
I don't know, maybe some of them read it, just the road down here.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like this litigation thing, I don't know about this. Litigation.
right?
That's right. Right through there, Wayne?
I think it is.
Yeah.
But of course, it was on the agenda, but we have.
Firehouse, down to that.
Yeah.
Really said about
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
Cause mine.
We have that Middleport Grand subdivision one too. that we did.
Oh.
We got it there.
You just need to sign that for Linda.
Oh, there you go,
That's-
Linda.
And that letter.
You said it in the county road.
Yeah, she just needs that.
I figured it was. Yes, we can. We are all put in that.
You know, that. They are, enforcement, or just one enforcement for the tow truck. A rare.
What's all this one?
Linda.
This for
That
That middle bit.
subdivision last week, or a couple weeks
just
ago,
the last page,
yeah. And then this letter.
And then the letter, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Mhm.
I appreciate what you're saying, but that is the truth. I mean, these people, it shouldn't be through back on us, being there's nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
'Cause if-
or the
we've
big
talked-
times.
They'll be coming next to ask you to maintain some of that stuff.
Yeah, and that's the problem, if you give them an inch,
Yeah,
they'll just keep asking, asking until you're,
they're intentionally moving out there
Yeah.
to live in the.
and then if it does go to court, then the court says, well, you guys have been,
Made representation.
yeah,
Yeah.
giving them an inch.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we got it a little bit, kind of got ahead of ourselves, but it's alright. We'll go ahead and get off for a little while, take a break. We're gonna be on break till 12:30 in case somebody, they can still call in. Or Zoom us, we'll be watching, but we're taking a little break. Did I sign one of these already, that encroachment one?
I don't, oh, no, probably not.
Does it so
Oh,
The
yeah.
enforcement one?
See that. It just looks at you and
I don't,
you're typing.
I don't like it.
I got it.
Oh, thank
I
you.
didn't fill out all that.
That, I took a picture of that. The old planning point, from the fall, so we need to wait it when we get up that way.
Okay, are we back on?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're back on now, and we're a couple minutes over, we'll go ahead and a working meeting for job description for public health and DES. Do you wanna waive your rights, or do you want this open or what? Okay, being as you don't care, we'll just leave as is. This is pretty much mainly trying to figure out everything, what you do and what you don't, and where we sit, and trying to quit overholding us everything. Come on up, Jackie.
State your name.
Oh, yeah, state your name, like, keep bringing it.
Jackie Bolster.
I guess we'll start right out with this, this one, you have that?
Yeah, that's the last one I had had.
Okay, you've read or looked it over and. I guess there's stuff here that.
Okay.
Um,
They're including safety coordinator in the public health department.
Yeah, when I was reading that, I thought that doesn't quite encompass.
I thought that was a different, when we put in that safety thing that I thought we went back through and looked at not bringing the old person up on the safety thing, but I thought it was
The safety coordinator doesn't have anything to do with county health,
yeah. It wasn't a safety thing where.
right? No, it's safety. Completely its own
And
thing.
DES,
Yeah.
well, and they actually, when they were all put together under one umbrella in the past, I'm like, not everyone's going to want to do
Yeah.
all of them under one umbrella. So,
And the reason they combined it is because, you took on the responsibility of these three different areas of,
well, yeah, and then I was blessed with the FEP
Yeah.
also.
yeah, and then you went back, so, yeah, but, yeah.
So how do we go back and just put like on this one, that we would just leave it at just a public health?
In just in my opinion, I would think that listing them separately and then as time moves on.
Yeah.
There's not, confusion.
So we'd have one for Department of Public Health and then one for a safety coordinator set, you'd have two of these. For this description.
So do we need the DES separate too?
I feel like it
Okay,
should
so
be separate.
three different job descriptions that you're doing. And what you want to do is change your public health job description. Responsibilities that should be going to the county health nurse. Take those responsibilities and you go back for responsibilities and you feel that it should be 10 hours.
I do.
Okay.
And I feel like in here it says reporting, like on the grant reporting. I feel that those grants should be, handed back to the public health nurse to be
Yes.
completing.
No.
So, and then we talked about assisting with PEP plans because the public health emergency plans kind of do roll into the DES portion of it. And in the emergency operations plan that the DES isn't responsible for, there's PEP, public health nurse or public health modules in that also. So, I think assisting with those PEP plans with the DES portion is appropriate.
Okay.
So like, would you want like, or think like BEP just goes with the DES job description then?
She just wants her part of the fair.
Or,
I think the PEP could land more on the public health
Yes.
nurse
more, okay.
and me assisting with, helping with
Yeah.
plans.
Yeah. And then your portion in the DES where PEP is kind of included is
And just kind of.
the administrative part of it
That's
too.
assisting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and putting
All right.
that verbiage all
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And then I would continue like doing the insurance billing. And then like scheduling, like, flu clinics, getting posters up, things like that. I think the the two of us can work on those things together and, you know, get those schedules put together easily enough. But, yeah, I think that if the reporting could be handed off to Deb, that would be very helpful.
So you have a slash and copy. Or is your copy the stuff that's
I just have
finalized stuff?
I don't think there's no finalization yet, to do the factors, then figure out what's what.
Yeah, I think it's just like.
So, okay, brings this is work session discussion,
Mhm.
scratch safety coordinator from
Yes, and have,
county health nurse position.
and then have one of those separate, like, making the whole new job description for that, so that the.
Okay, so,
This will be by itself also,
Mhm.
big field.
So it'll be 3 different,
Cause it was always when I first started, all 3 of these positions were a separate position. And then they all got lumped together. Which,
okay, so then in accountability on this public health one, county commission for safety and emergency operation needs to be scratched out of that one, correct? And its accountability is to the county public health nurse for all public health department matters. Do we need to say something different on the public health department matters? To, okay. Secretarial. All,
you mean who I,
how would you word, important
Administrative,
documents have, the
Yeah.
administrative part is up to Deb now and it's up to her, she.
administrative assistant, right? I mean, just assisting with those
Yeah.
documents.
so then I answer to Deb in those 10 hours.
For those
Yeah.
10 hours. Right. And only the duties of the county health nurse. Yeah, do we have a problem with that?
That's fine.
Are you sure? I mean, this is how,
Yeah,
here's the thing, she's the county health nurse and you're working under the county health nurse. In that capacity to help her do things, wouldn't she be the supervisor? But the duties need to be more defined, is that what we need to do?
well, I think, yes, and then.
Well, you. Pat, live here, give me your, I need to understand where you're coming from.
yeah, maybe defining what specifically we'll do because, seems to be expanding a little bit, so narrowing it.
Right, and I
So
guess,
your duties in the county health department are what you've been doing is going to be the county health nurse's responsibility. You did those things when we didn't have a county health nurse. And
exactly,
now it's her responsibility to do the things, and they would be in her job description.
Yeah,
and they
so
probably already
Been
are.
doing the billing. There's some,
Does this need to be closed or we keep talking about,
or just, or just talking about just talking about the description. I guess, if talking about,
job?
an employee or whatever, when it comes down to that, then it could be closed, but, what this job description is specifically, then.
So the job description would be what you said, billing. And,
assisting with pet plans.
but that's on the DPS side, right?
No, it would be on this side,
Yeah,
That's gonna be public health.
because that rolls over, that's the sticky part, is because there are, like, the emergency operation plans, some of that stuff from the DES side pulls into the FEP side. So it's, I think you can leave it either way, just assist with FEP plans.
yeah,
For developing them.
It'll be a joint
Yeah.
deal,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
So the duties need to be listed then what,
Right, I don't know what her job description.
Yeah, we don't care what her job
Right.
description is. We need your duties, what you're doing and what you will be doing for your 10 hours a month, right?
Yes,
Okay,
a week.
there you go.
A
A week,
Oh,
okay,
wait.
sorry. You
Don't
can-
get her
you
too
can get-
excited here.
I want her to know, though, this isn't just all on you. You know, this was brought up with the commissioners involved in this, so it doesn't look like.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think just like scheduling of info, you know. Cause we're not doing any WIC here anymore, we're not doing any asthma, we're not doing area 5. So some of this can roll over.
Okay, so what we need to do is bullet what your duties will be for the public health nurse or public health department. How would we work?
Public health.
Yeah, I mean, some job descriptions have other duties as
Yes.
defined, but I think you wanna get it as specific as, you know, and that's helpful for Jackie, you know, what the expectation is.
And usually if you only do something once a year, it's not considered a job duty.
Yeah.
Because it's only a once a year thing and blah, blah, blah. On some things in different offices.
I just think it's potentially good to have in there, cause the next person comes along and says, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do it, and then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, right here, but
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's my point too, is. For the person that's sitting in the chair,
What they're.
what,
Interviewing.
because if you hand this to somebody and I have, you know, I've expressed this. This position has 3 things and not everybody's going to want to do that. Nor will they apply
Absolutely.
after they look at,
No, you have some job description.
They might not be qualified for one of them, or, you know.
Yeah.
That way we could pull it out, put it on something else, just in case there's somebody else that came in.
Well, and the thing with this, you're taking all these positions, these aren't really full-time positions. Each one is not a full-time position, there's set hours for,
I think safety could be,
yeah. You think safety could be,
the gamble falls under the safety.
well, I
that
know,
falls under DES.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean,
what do you
Is
think,
it
Jack? What?
the Medicaid, or Medicare, doing the renewals and
credentialing. In
yeah,
fact, I met with Pacific Source this morning, she came out. And, you know, I do have all the credentialing for every insurance
Yeah.
company and,
that should be on there, right?
yeah.
Yeah, credentialing. Is there some, I mean, you're answering calls, right? I mean, or
Yeah,
answering calls, I mean, you're not a receptionist, but you're maybe you make appointments or is that,
most of that's been coming on Deb's phone.
okay, all right.
Well, then she tells me what to schedule,
Oh,
so.
So help
just
scheduling.
scheduling, yeah.
Word. Hey,
Yeah, and just as, I think there's just not a lot of definition on who's to do what.
So you need to see the job description for the county health nurse. Just to make sure that the duties that you're doing right now, you need to fall back on her, and the only reason we're doing the duties was because I'm not trying to take over the meeting. I'm just,
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
well,
I'm trying to figure out, because there's 3 different
I know,
descriptions.
and that's what I wanted, to put them all together, and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
That's why I keep looking on that.
we can't keep.
is there any old job descriptions?
Yes, right
when
here.
They were more merged,
Yeah,
were it all 3 of them?
here's a bunch of them. And that's the hard part, I kind of was penciling through some of them, and some of them from the original one when I started, 7 years ago, don't even apply anymore.
I see adapting to that, what is current, but, picking and choosing which ones are
Yeah.
the.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've already kind of done some of this on the health.
Yeah,
side, Right?
scratched
You want
out.
that back?
Sure, you can show it to Blanche too.
So you've scratched out, this is before it was.
That was my first job description. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were half-time,
Yes.
20 hours a week, right? So the half-time position, but now it's
That
not
one.
10 hours a week position.
Or these other two, right, or not?
Hmm.
Right, but then DES and safety,
It's completely,
Yeah, well, public, PDS and safety.
Yeah.
yeah,
Cause they all come in as different stuff and what, different things to do with the dam.
well, let's do one at a time.
right, 'cause I was just thinking,
Okay.
like, probably DES and safety right now are more than 10 hours a piece now. Right?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's probably more like just DES and safety could be a 40-hour a week job. Maybe, no,
I think between the three, like if I did 10 hours public
and
health
then these would be 30.
and like, you know,
and that's the plan, is to do the 10 hours for public health, and then the balance of 30 hours are in DES. And I don't think we have to set hours between each.
right,
No.
because some days, like if I'm doing safety meeting and
Yeah,
doing inspections,
Right.
that takes more time. And then the DES, and you guys gotta remember, we just got the grant for the CWPP, the Wildlife Protection Plan, so that's going to take some hours to get that put all together, all together.
I was just saying now there's more in these two jobs than there was
Yeah,
10 years ago,
Yeah.
like 8 years ago, like these could just be a full-time job now.
so definitely they need job descriptions for each. And they need to be rewritten. I think, if I may, we need just to worry about the county health thing right today.
Yeah.
Cause we know that that's the one that needs to be
Cause I don't,
revamped with the positions that should be with the county health nurse and your duties on this.
On 10 hours a week.
Yeah, 10 hours a week.
because I don't think the DES and the safety are changing in any.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But
Just revamp it.
yeah, what we're doing is giving her more hours to do the job, other two jobs that she has. And putting the responsibility where it should be with the county health nurse. Right?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess when we look over the job description of the county health, nurse, then we yeah, just make sure she understands what her description is. And we're getting down to 10 hours a week, just what hers is on just the public health,
Yeah,
right?
So I guess right now we can, what would you call her, public health aide?
I think it wasn't an
What?
administrative assistant or no, what's the,
Wait, I'm reading that.
it wasn't administrative assistant?
Yeah,
Am I making it up?
that's fine.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm just not gonna be her.
right? And then we do need, every job duty that you have taken over is probably still sitting in the county health nurse job description. We just need to make sure that it's there.
Start putting in the other stuff, start putting it in, the safety coordinator and the DES.
Yeah, it's already in there, but we just need to rewrite the job description.
And I think they are,
If we need to update,
because in this description, there's also the DES and safety is all lumped into one in the June of 2023. Description, everything's been put in one, and that should not be that way,
okay,
should not be written. But I can get with Miranda and we can kind of piecemeal that out.
yeah,
And then we can just, go over, once we get one, we've already kind of got an idea on the first one, then start working on the other two and then go from there.
so our main goal here is to just make sure that the positions that formerly were, is now the staff where it's supposed to be.
So, yeah, the responsibility.
Yeah, the responsibility,
Uh-huh.
yes. Okay,
You want it on for next week for
Yeah.
decisions and those changes, maybe?
so coming from her, we need your bullets on the duties that are gonna take you to 10 hours a week. Month, week or month.
I can go a month too, I can go this many hours too.
Don't you tell him to put that gavel on me.
We'll just take the gavel. Yeah, and like I said, I can work with Miranda,
Okay.
and I can send her points too.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Good. Good.
That worked.
Yeah, I just,
I think we accomplished a lot.
Mm.
Thumbs up, thumbs up. I'm feeling very positive.
That's good.
you should be. Did you get my email?
Me?
Yeah.
That'd be
It
a
was like,
roll.
when people finally got to work at 8:30 this morning. About the burning.
You've got 20 emails. and then it's in
I'm
there.
gonna make sure that's on for each week.
Yes.
I thought it was because I called on fire restrictions, but we can throw it in here quick
Yeah.
when we're done.
Yeah, we got time.
On the fire restrictions, I forgot.
Do you want me to give you an update what I found out this morning?
Yeah, you better quit.
Okay, so the problem last week, well,
Cheers.
yes, yeah.
Hello.
Val can come in here. Val? Yeah. I'm talking about, I sent you an email this morning. I didn't know if you were on vacation yet or not.
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
About that burning permit that was granted last week.
Yeah, he's been told not to burn anymore.
Well, so when I talked to, Brady at ENRC, Marcus was out in the field today, so, yesterday they decided to stop burn permits.
Okay.
But they're like, didn't know if that was every day, on a day-to-day basis. And I said, well, how do you know when it's somebody from Granite County that's calling you? Well, if they come to the office, they ask their address, but if it's online, they have no way of exchanging, like, if it's in.
So
Yeah.
people have been told to call the office even if they go online and do it, because we don't follow online. We just ask that they call the office working and stuff.
Well, and so they're going to send us and I'll send it to you, and I sent, Rico on there too, with this defining exactly what their process is, so that we're not sitting over here going, well, they gave it to this one, do we do it this way?
Right.
So
Too much.
well, and I asked Brady, I said, is this going to be a solid until like October? And he couldn't answer that, so Marcus will be sending an email, I'll pass it on to everybody, so that everybody's on the same page. Open for any permits.
And we're still sticking just, fires and, camp and stuff.
Right, in like Battle Green and stuff.
Yeah, no other open burning.
None. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, then my question was, well, if he got this on the 23rd of June and he hasn't burned, can he still do it? And they go, well, yeah, because we,
But they don't trump what commissioners.
Yeah.
I know.
If it's on, yeah, what
That's usually how I am.
commission controlled jurisdiction, I mean, it doesn't apply to towns and, BLM or Forest Service or.
But does this guy live in Granite County or?
He lived down by the lake, past the lake, south of Forest.
So, but he doesn't distinguish if he lives in Granite County or Deer Lodge County. Because we don't know, Deer Lodge County
Right.
probably still has open burning, who knows?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I think everybody.
Yeah, I think they called suit after Missouri and then I.
Okay.
Animals and bitter,
Okay.
all this, that's why we got it through on, and I think it's all, as I understood from DNR, everybody on the burning.
okay,
Just in a designated.
All right.
camp.
So they have stage one then, or?
No, not yet. It's coming.
Isn't that
They
stage one?
usually leave the stage one till after July 4th due to the fact to let people have a little holiday.
Right.
But after next week, then you'll start seeing it just skyrocket.
Okay. So what is stage one?
stage one.
It's just in the campfire ring, right?
Yeah, but then there's like,
There's other limitations
Yes.
too.
There's a whole bunch of them. They changed it. I remember they changed some of that new policy last year and then of course.
and I have banners down in the basement that we can put on either side of town, and it seems like this side of town is more of the problem. But there's banners and there's a QR code on there that people can snap, and then they will give them the definition, but it also talks about the restrictions of stage one, and then I have one that says restrictions of stage two.
There's like the time limits on
Right.
work, whereas stage two is, yeah.
Then stage two is just no
I know.
fire, right?
Anyhow, Yeah, I can,
This is why,
Okay.
because we're letting that fireworks,
Mhm.
because really the fireworks fall into the burning process,
Right.
so. Once stage one hits, that's why we wait back and forth, then we can actually shut the shit down.
well, and like Sean O'Connor, when he called me the other day, it's so much more dry on our end, and he
Yeah.
would like to follow what Missoula does on that end at least, so that we have, you know, stay on the same zone.
And with that, it's gotta be countywide.
Oh, yeah.
Too hard to do.
You're not,
Yeah.
you're not, I'm,
Right.
no, we're, this countywide, cause then we follow through, then that starts falling into the DNRC Forest Service and under their recommendations, go 1, 2, or 3.
Well, I
Make
had,
it easy on them.
yeah, I had a call with Beaverhead this morning, but I also had a meeting with Specific Source. So I had to pick my battle this morning too.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you get us that other one, we'll get
Okay,
ahead on this.
okay, sounds good.
Thanks, Jack.
All right.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, have a good vacation.
I'm good.
It's close enough to Bell, that, do you want wavy lights, do you want this closed or?
It doesn't matter to me, to be honest, if you open.
Totally up to you.
It doesn't.
Don't we wanna do our cyber interview?
Yeah, you're a cyber.
Why not?
That's why
We're a little-
you're here, correct?
Right, yeah. Sorry. Come on up.
Okay.
Sorry. Been a long day.
Yes, it has.
Thank you guys for taking a few moments out of your busy schedule to see me. As I mentioned when I was here in May, we had the one outstanding piece, and I had forgotten about the airport, but that's the second outstanding piece. So I have before you today the cyber renewal and the airport renewal.
Is our side, that cyber stuff, what, didn't we have that before?
Yeah, with him.
Miranda?
Mako is looking into it, supposedly.
Yeah, they did mention that the last time we were here, you know, and we'll see how that plays out, right? It's one of those things where a few years ago, they threw up their hands and said, we don't have the ability to do this anymore because county operations, some counties are more sophisticated from an IT perspective than others. And they just kind of threw their hands up and said, so that, you know, led us down this path. But, so we've been doing this outside of the Mako program for the past couple of years. And if, when or if they get back in the game, we'll certainly take a look at the coverages that they're offering, evaluate them to see if it makes more sense to go with them or, you know, keep it with a separate company. But
How come, like on this map thing, only 2 places in Idaho does the cyber stuff and like Washington, Oregon, Montana, got more? Or is that just?
that's just our footprint. That's just our Payne or our Marsh McLennan Northwest footprint. That's all that is. That's just a little propaganda for you, Commissioner.
Propaganda.
All right. Happy 1st of July.
Yeah.
Okay, on page 3 of 9, we've got the aviation policy. It came in at 11,388. The expiring was 10,611. If we want the terrorism and war coverage, the 3-year premium rather, would be 12,810. And I believe that's what you've done in the past, is done the 3-year term. So that is, we can get into the nitty gritty in a moment. And then the cyber, your expiring was 11,706. The renewal came in at 11,121. So it's down about $600 over last year. So that's good news as well. So turning the page, obviously, with respect to the aviation policy, we've got the Drummond Field as well as the Riddick Field. And then for our cyber schedule, we've got the courthouse location here. And then turning the page, the carrier for our cyber policy is Coalition, and we do write a fair amount of business with them. Marsh does place quite a few accounts with them. They are one of our preferred carriers, if you will, in the cyber arena. So we have a per
a claim limit of $1 million and an annual aggregate of $1 million with $25,000 deductible. We do have, full prior acts, because this is, portions of this cover your claims made. You want to pay attention to your prior acts coverage and your retroactive dates. So we've had continuous coverage in effect since, July 1st of 2022. So essentially what that means is that a claims made policy, in order for a claim to be paid, it number one must first occur, and number two be reported within the policy period, subject to the retro date. So what this means is that we're picking up things back to 7/1/2022. So if you had something that was smoldered in the woodshed and you didn't know it, and then it manifested itself 3 weeks from now, we've got that continuous coverage. So that retroactive date is important. Okay. As far as the insuring agreement, we've got network and information security liability at $1 million, regulatory defense and penalties at $1 million, multimedia content at $1 million, PCI fines and assessments at $1 million, breach response at $1 million, crisis management and PR, public relations at $1 million, cyber extortion at $1 million, and then business interruption and extra expenses at $1 million as well. Digital asset restoration at $1 million, and then funds transfer fraud at $250,000. The word of caution, I don't know how much business you're transacting electronically, but be careful. That's all I can say is just try and be careful. If you have a vendor that is asking for changes in payment options, maybe you were paying them by check before, and now you're, first of all, do you do any electronic wires?
Normally, no, not for our claims and stuff.
Okay.
We still
Normally,
do the
no.
warrant.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time it's a warrant or a written check,
Yeah,
correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
and I don't know if the treasurer does anything electronically.
okay. It's just becoming a bigger and bigger deal.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing is, you know, these criminals are extremely sophisticated. And so what we're saying is anytime you have anyone requesting a change in payment mode, vet it. Pick up the phone and call them and make that contact with me. I've been involved, I personally have clients involved where they've had middleman attacks where the bad actor is playing the contractor to the owner, and the bad actor is playing the owner to the contractor. So they're playing both sides of it. And, you know, they're very sophisticated. That could have been that particular claim that resulted in multiple payments to the bad actor. Could have been avoided by picking up the phone.
So the one thing is like with our payroll, we do it on a disk or maybe and it goes down to the bank. So it doesn't shoot to the bank automatically for, automatic deposits into bank accounts. It goes through the bank.
Another claim we had is, so you're actually taking a hard copy of the disc down there
Yeah,
and delivering it?
Yeah, unless they
Okay.
change.
Okay. Another claim we've had was where the bad actors went to the employer and purported themselves to be an employee and said, I want you to change my electronic deposit to a different bank. And so that's another area that we've seen some activity.
Okay,
So just
Right.
if you get those requests, fully vet them. And when I say fully vet them, don't respond to the email that you received. Don't respond to the phone number that's on that email. Go back to your original files and make sure that that email is correct, or that phone number is correct, and call them because they're very crafty. So just kind of a word of caution on that.
and one thing with payroll, they have to bring in and have to show their little faces. if they
Yeah,
want to change
So
banks.
that's, you know, so you know who you're dealing with then, right? How many employees does Granite County have
About
approximately?
60.
Yeah, so,
57 or 60.
yeah, so that, you know, so it's a relatively small amount in the grand scheme of things. You know, the stuff that I'm talking about was education related, large school districts where you get, you know, 6, 7, 800 employees to a district, so, but it can happen anywhere.
They did try that here. There was emails going around saying this is Commissioner Adler, you know, and directing the treasurer to electronically send, funds. That time Commissioner Adler didn't have an email, so and he still doesn't have one.
You hear that?
Stuff like that, you know.
I'm listening to
There you go. We're happy that you're finally heeding our advice. No, it's just stuff like that, you know, and it's, and you know, we had one, and again, it was education related. It was a special ed director that was dealing with a vendor, and they had paid electronically or had a history of doing that. And anytime there's a rush, a hurry, we need to make this payment right away. You know, that's always a red flag.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, the bad actor went to the sped director and said, send the money to this party. And she was purported to be from the superintendent of the school. And so superintendent instructs me to do this, I'm gonna do it. And lo and behold, got home and she was talking to her husband that night. Her husband said, that doesn't sound right. She picked up the phone the next morning, calls the superintendent and said, did you instruct? And no, he didn't. And so then they were able to stop that one because it was close in time, but not a lot of time had elapsed. But stuff like that, just anytime there's anything a little bit off or a little bit questionable that gives you that red flag, consider a red flag and follow up. So.
Well, on that note, I guess we'll go ahead and see if somebody wants to make a motion to remove this.
Are you through with your delivery?
Yeah, no, I
shut him on. You both know me like. Heard enough.
And then again, you just have the aviation as well, so that's is there as well. The question I have on the aviation though is, do we want the terrorism and the war coverage, which historically you've taken?
Keep it the same. I think we need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion that we accept get the terminology correct. Our cyber and airport insurance renewal with Marsh McLennan Agency.
I second it.
Public comment? Being done, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we got
Have you sign my copy and you can keep yours. Thank you all, and again, that was kind of the last missing piece, so.
Thank you.
No, thank you, sir, for coming all this way.
He might just be trying to steal your signature.
Yeah.
Transferring funds without me.
You know, how do you sign? Add, and then sign that. Any big plans for the 4th?
Maybe going to the lake.
What?
Susan, Georgetown.
Oh,
Yeah.
the reservoir.
Take the boat up. The
The
reservoir.
reservoir.
Yeah, let's get that straight.
Beautiful days for a drive.
The reservoir.
Everybody else had the same idea.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You have a good for
Happy 4th to you all. Take care. Good to see you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Good to see you, Miranda. Take care.
All right. Safe travel. Yeah.
Thank you.
One with you. Fuck out.
Sitting too long?
Never been.
Oh.
Well, Well, now you're on.
So thank you guys for seeing me. I really am just looking to see if there's any county land available that I could buy for cheaper than what is priced here in town. I have been here for almost 10 years and I have not been able to find any land that I can afford. We only have a single income at home. My son is autistic and can't fit him at school. And so my husband teaches him and takes care of him. And so just seeing if there was any county land that you guys could sell for something cheaper than what's in the market now.
Down to basis of it, this, I don't know what we really have and then.
And I didn't know if you guys had anything either. This is like my last.
It comes out fair market. and all that
Right.
crap,
Okay.
every same thing. It's,
Well, yeah, it says, the statute says that, land the commission feels is not necessary for local government business can be, and you put it out for public bid. You also talked about the idea of potentially, putting like a rental, putting
Right.
around a rental, we need, septic and other stuff.
Right.
I'm not sure what county, I mean, there is some pieces of land around.
some of them have septic, some of them.
Oh, do they?
Think
Okay,
so.
yeah.
I'm thinking so, if person have to have Linda ask her to recognize the county stuff, then we can see what's on it, and what we can do with it, 'cause some of it I know is, I have.
If there's power and septic on stuff,
I was thinking there was.
yeah, cause you have the ability to have, or can purchase, mobile home trailer or.
Right.
or
I've been
modular.
approved for 275K and I'm just trying to find something that I can afford with the land and.
We have any city lots?
Do we have any city lots? I thought we had the one on the corner down here by the old red building. Wasn't there a lot there that had a trailer on it years ago, or across from the football field over by the old red building? Where
Like
the-
the county road, the weed building?
Yeah, the lower, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've seen some on the Montana cadastral, but I don't know, like.
I guess that,
I'm not looking for a handout, I'm just.
And you,
Stay here, I've been here
We're
for
not
10 years and I don't wanna leave, you know?
we don't wanna lose you.
she does an excellent job.
Is there any hospital ground that is not being used across the street from the hospital, and that storage building and stuff? Is there, how much of that do we own, Tom? It's just.
Across the street from hospital, that house, the house that they financed used to be, Mr. Kissel's house and
Yeah,
they,
I think that's in their names, in the.
yeah,
Oh,
The,
that's it,
hospital district.
yeah. In the hospital district.
oh.
But, yeah, looking at the actual and seeing what's in,
Have you looked on the
I
cadastral
did,
at all?
I seen a few and it just says either the town of Phillipsburg or Granite County, so I wasn't for sure what is what, like I seen. Obviously, this building and the sheriff's office, it's in grade or whatever, but I've seen some throughout Phillipsburg as well that were grayed out, but I wasn't sure what they were. I haven't actually taken
I'm
them.
not sure either.
Yeah.
Lydia, Linda, question probably. Find out, put it on the agenda for next week if we got, cause she's not gonna be here, next week, or 2 weeks.
Linda's up there
The
today,
14th.
and she can talk to her and come. But you guys are willing to at least entertain the idea of,
I am.
rental, or?
I am, I mean, just to keep
Okay.
good employees and that, we've been, keep emphasizing, we give little raises just to keep what we have, there's not so much to give somebody else.
Cost of living is,
Well,
yeah.
especially with the transition from being the bridge from Scott to Rico now is very imperative because Rico's still learning himself and I love my job. I 100% love it and I just don't wanna have to move and leave this county in a predicament and then be screwed over there basically.
Was there a piece up by the cemetery that was ours?
And,
Cemetery?
That Phillipsburg cemetery, was there a piece up there, or is that all Phillipsburg district?
what if I jump on?
Or cemetery?
Okay, so- I know they,
Yeah, I know, we can just look on.
Yes, yes.
I didn't know where.
yeah, probably be faster if you went and chatted with Linda and she might be able to go in and see.
Well, she'll know what the restrictions on it are, and whether we can put something on it.
What's Linda's last name?
Bach. She's up,
Yeah, she's
she's
upstairs.
across from Blaine.
Across from Blaine's office.
Yeah, up into the left.
She's cool, she knows her shit.
Yeah,
Like,
good.
does a good job.
Good.
Trying to think, there was somewhere else that. Just to put a trailer in. Was it ever thought that the hydro dam would go back and try to tear the lunch?
Say that
The
again.
hydro dam, remember we talked about, I don't know if you were in there, but we talked about tearing down the old houses and putting a couple granals in there, just. to
Oh, I
help
don't
out.
remember.
Bottom of the dam.
I think in the FERC documents, the county committed to like preserve those buildings.
Yeah, I think there
I
was.
thought just that, I thought the one that they wanted to preserve was just the old shop one. The other ones, they even brought to our attention to tear them down because they were full of crap, rats and stuff.
I need to, I double check that, for sure, yeah, the one with the old
How
turbine.
many are there?
There's
Three,
three, you know, and they had septic and water and everything, but I mean, it'd take a little bit, but.
why couldn't we fix those up if we're gonna preserve them?
I think they're,
Well,
I think it's tearing them, yeah, tearing them down.
Hold on, be easier.
We do this all the time.
I love that.
Trying to think, there was. Well, from the other story where. Is that guy's piece of ground, did it come up for sale at the end of the airport?
The one here in Hall,
The one here, he was talking about selling.
really? You know, I did see on the cadastral that that was there, but I don't know.
I seen a sign there.
Astro doesn't work on my phone.
There's an old trailer fort
Maybe now.
that John Johnson owns.
Yeah.
It still has all the
Well,
septic and stuff.
Hmm.
If he'd be willing to rent a space.
Sure,
Do you know him?
I don't.
What's her name? John?
John Johnson,
Oh, yeah, I know John Johnson.
if he'd be willing. There was like 5 trailers and when you go up toward the brewery,
Mm-hmm.
it's right there between the little yellow house and then it's got 5 separate.
I think I know where you're talking about.
It's right next, well, my daughter lives in the little white house next to it and it's a lot between that and heading toward the,
That lot right there.
what do you call it?
It's like across from Pioneer Courts.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Boulder Creek property, does that have septic on it? Kind of piece down there.
I think you have to put it in now.
Yeah.
Are you talking on the Boulder Pass?
Yeah, Boulder, I think that former dump site, right? Kind of the.
That's what I'm about.
I don't know anything the county owns. Yeah.
what city lots are there?
You know, the other one talked to was Robert Madoff. You know him.
Yeah,
Talk to him.
yeah,
He's got quite a bit around here and there.
okay.
I just thought I was thinking of him. He had something he might just happen to have, cause he just made kind of a RV camp spot down by drum behind my place.
Okay.
So there's
Yeah.
something, you never
Okay.
know what he has.
I'm open to anything and everything at this point.
He's got quite a bit around.
I'll check that out.
I can't think of anywhere else. I mean, we'll look into our county stuff and I don't know what actually.
Yeah.
There's,
You talked to Mayor Reddish about too for the city lots.
Mhm. That would be a good step to go through.
Did they ever get all the money for the seniors, new seniors citizens
I don't
center
think so.
down by Hardware Hanks or?
I don't know, grounded, pinky eye,
How is it?
they're still working on
You mean Woodland Creek?
Yeah. That one, always saying hard work, no, I can't find it on your damn. And she might know something too.
Yeah, Charity.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
she's real,
Really?
she's a realtor.
She's a realtor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I thought you meant.
But stuff is just going sky high is what you're saying.
I thought, here's what I thought you said. She might close up too.
Hardware Hanks.
And that's when I said, really?
Now you're just giving me shit. Just trying to think what else, I think there's a couple spots up by the lake. I don't know if they're, never really been looked into it, it's kind of.
Right.
Find out, see what we really
Well, I don't
have
want
or
to
what
waste
we
any
can
more of your
do.
time. I can get on
There's a
for a later time. too.
piece in the Roslyn edition between Roslyn and, that be
Where's
Roslyn Street. Yeah.
Right.
Rosalind's up
Oh,
there.
you should know.
Yep, yeah, yep.
I have no idea what the names of the roads are.
I don't either, I'm like, give me a landmark.
Yeah,
It's so hard.
it's, Galena Road goes through it. No idea what that-
Where? Oh. Galena's not.
Yeah. I talked to Linda.
Yeah, go to Linda.
Yeah.
And then just, we can put it back on for the next week or whatever, and we
Okay.
try to keep trying to help you.
I'll try
find
to do
something.
some research
Yeah.
in the meantime and talk to Mayor Reddish and Linda and.
Robert.
Robert Murdoch.
Something will pop up.
Yep. All right.
Are you back on next week then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to see if we can help or whatever, see what you found out.
Okay, yep.
I don't know if it'd do any good, but you might reach out to John and see if he'd be
Oh,
willing
yeah.
to rent one of those.
Okay,
Long time rent or something.
Yeah.
right.
Because it's got the power and the.
Okay.
the-
Where is it at?
It's right up when you hit up
Across from Pioneer Courts.
Oh, yeah.
the trailers that used to be there
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's still all the poles and
Yeah.
stuff still there.
There's still one trailer there, isn't there?
No,
No? Oh, yeah.
I'll do my research in the
Yeah.
meantime.
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah, I
I
appreciate
mean,
it.
if it's sitting there vacant,
Yeah.
you should do something. You think,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
desperate need of
Right,
rentals.
okay. I'll look into that. I appreciate it guys so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Have a good vacation.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank you.
See ya. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. You too.
Things on that note, we'll go ahead and adjourn.
You wanna sign this affidavit?
Okay.
Just raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth.
That's your left hand.
Truth, so help you God.
What's your-
Will you tell me about that? I hold, do I need to stand? You can raise-
No, you good.
Take this on.
Yeah. Tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right. Sign on the board. Actually pulled it in and everything.
Okay.
Or Rob and do affidavit.